welcome into Around the Felt, episode 9, 8 in the division series, the final division here. Before we get into week 1, we have the AFC East with Reagan's New York Jets. Reagan, how are you feeling today?
Our New York Jets, first off.
I'm getting sick of that joke.
Well, you shouldn't have said it. But I'm excited to talk about it.
I know.
I had to listen to all these other teams be talked about, and you got to do your Giants right off the bat, so I'm happy I finally get to talk my Jets.
Why we saved this one?
We get to talk Paul Keller.
Paul's definitely excited for this one until he
Patriots.
hears what I have to say about the Patriots today. He won't be too happy.
Yeah, I guess he won't be giving you so much love in the comments because he certainly loves to hype you up in the comments.
Yeah, he's a big supporter. I appreciate Paul.
I think I might be getting a little more Paul support after this episode.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, you still have the Pats with a losing record, so.
Maybe we'll get into that, but yeah. So let's take a deep dive right into the breaking news.
Not much, a little bit.
Yeah, there's not much, so we're gonna do a little bit of NFL, and then we kind of want to get into the college football news from this weekend. But Jamal Adams ruled out week 1. A guy who obviously has been an All-Pro before, and we were kind of talking about it with the Seattle breakdown.
You had him as your X factor, correct?
Yeah. So this isn't a good start, but from what they were saying, it's more precautionary, and they don't want to force him back.
That makes sense
because they're a team that's fully expecting to be a playoff team and competing for the division. So, 17-game season, why rush him back? And in other injury news, I don't know if you saw, but Cooper Kupp, I guess, has a hamstring injury that might keep him out week 1.
I believe he was somewhere in the north. I think it was Minnesota or Wisconsin or something. He was seeing a specialist to figure out what the root cause is. McVay says day to day, but it's not good. Not good, especially if you're taking Cooper Kupp in fantasy, or if you took Cooper Kupp in the top 10. It seems a little bit more risky now.
Well, if Cooper Kupp is to miss week 1, the Seahawks are a smash play. And any of you that are doing those survivor pools out there.
Oh, yeah. We highlight the Rams. They're terrible. They have 3 good players, and without one of them.
Right now, the spread's at 5 for Seattle, but I think if Kupp's out, it's going to balloon up to 8 or 9 points just from one guy being out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And in other news, we saw 2 guys get extended. We saw Terrence Steele, the right tackle for the Cowboys.
5-year, 86. That's a big extension.
So, man. That's got to be up there with some of the highest paid right tackles in the league.
And they paid Diggs this offseason as well, man. They have a lot of big contracts.
Yeah.
And they haven't even paid Parsons yet. So, or Lamb. So the cap space is certainly dwindling. It makes me wonder what they'll do with Dak when his contract is up, because he's already getting paid a ton of money as well. So Dallas, it's getting tight. They're going to start to run out of depth, and I don't know. I think their window could be closing.
Yeah. They're one of those teams that has to win, and obviously Bosa too, another guy who hasn't got his contract yet either.
Yep, Bosa hasn't got his contract. Chris Jones still holding out. Looks like he's not playing this week.
Yeah, I think we'll
clearly
certainly
not playing this week.
That'll be interesting on that game.
That could have a big difference, man.
Yeah,
he's huge in the interior, and the Lions have a phenomenal offensive line, so they might be able to run the ball down the Chiefs' throats.
Yeah, I think if he's to miss time, I think I'm already liking it. I'll give you a hint on a bet I kind of like already. If he doesn't play, I think I want to take the over, just because Mahomes is going to score a ton of points. But now
I do like the over.
But now if the Lions, if the Chiefs are missing their best defensive player. And
there's no way he plays. We're recording this on Monday, and he is still not reported. So he's going to show up the day of the game and just
who knows what kind of shape he's in.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Good. And then the other guy that signed Hawkinson, T.J. Hawkinson of the Vikings, he signed a 4-year, $68.5 million deal, which is pretty big for a tight end. He's a guy that we've seen have a lot of success so far in this league. Yeah, okay. We've seen him have a lot of success. You've called it himself, the Giants killer.
He is the Giants killer.
Again. All right, there we go. Sorry, our graphic guy, Garrett, he only makes us graphics. He doesn't actually come here and put it on the TV anymore. So now that he's gone, we've been struggling with the graphics.
Yeah. Hawkinson got his extension most per year in the league right now. He just beat out Darren Waller's deal. He's good, but I don't think he's worth that money. I wouldn't pay a tight end like that unless he was truly elite. And he is, but
in a sense,
at the same
he's
time,
such a good blocker.
But at the same time, we saw the Lions perform better offensively after they traded him, and I'm like,
I don't know how much that was of him though. I feel like that was just a culture change.
Clearly didn't take a hit on them though. They got better. Yeah. They started to win.
I think that was more
Hawkinson. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's just, I'm just saying it was more of a
offense
culture
scored more
change
points.
thing.
It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe we're trying to force feed Hawkinson, but he's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of holes, especially along that defense. So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay a tight end like that. And Mike Evans, something is going to happen by Saturday because he said if he doesn't get a new contract by Saturday, September 9th, he will not be a Buck next year. He wants out. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm hoping my Jets go and trade for him.
My Giants trade for him.
There's a lot of teams out there.
They created $6.5 million cap space today.
There's a lot of teams out there with a lot of cap space. I mean, like the Jets, once Corey Davis retired and Rodgers restructured, we have a lot of cap space. You guys, like you just said,
Jones.
The Bears still have $33 million hanging out, and they have a lot
about that.
And they probably have better capital than either.
Yeah, but there's no
way.
There's no way Evans would want to play for the Bears.
I don't think it matters though because he got his Super Bowl already, and if they're gonna go pay him a ton of money,
no, he wants to play for a winner. He absolutely wants to play for a winner. He's not gonna go to Chicago.
But either way, I mean, he's still one of the better receivers in the league. He's yet to have a season under 1,000 yards. So
yeah, he's elite.
I think pretty much every team he were to join, he'd be a number one right away. So
yeah,
but all right, well, let's talk a little bit of college football. I know that's more your forte, Mr.
Yeah,
PFF.
it was a phenomenal weekend of college ball. A lot of good games. I mean, the big one was Florida State beat the hell out of LSU last night, especially in the second half. I liked LSU. In the first half, they got inside the red zone twice and got stuffed on fourth down, so that's usually not a good sign. If I'm seeing a team and that happens, they lose a lot of momentum, and it's tough to overcome that and win the game. And then Florida State just took it to them in the second half. Jordan Travis looked really good. That defense looked really good too. Jared Verse, listen, he's going to be a top 10 pick next year most likely, definitely first-round pick. A lot of NFL talent in the field last night, so that was a sick game. UNC, Drake May, they beat South Carolina. That was another good game.
I just want to say about the Florida State game. I was watching with him last night, and it was pretty funny because I was telling him Florida State was going to win, and he said LSU. And as he stressed on the show, I don't really know college football, but the kid got one. The kid got one.
It's a coin flip for you, buddy.
Oh, the coin flipped my way. I got it right, And in the second half, Florida State was smacking them so bad that we were just doing push-ups. So
we had a push-up competition.
Yeah, and
a little beer muscles going on.
Obviously, I lost to him because he's very strong, but
continuing with the college football news, Caleb Williams looked like the number one pick again. A ton of highlight plays. That was good. And
but he's not better than Clayton Tune. First off.
Yeah. Okay, you're the biggest Clayton Tune homer. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even say that in the breaking news segment. Sorry, obviously, since Clayton Tune's not going to lose that job. I said he's my biggest impact on the Rookie of the Year for the Cardinals. I want to put this out there. I'm not telling you to bet this at all, but he's plus 10,000 to win Rookie of the Year, and he just got announced as a starter of the Cardinals. Or not officially announced, but their coach basically insinuated he's going to be starting. I mean, that's great value for a guy that's going to be playing quarterback. I'm just saying... values there, and then Colin's gonna go. Well,
I think with that $10 bet, I'd rather go to.
Well, it is a hot take though. I know you've never actually put out a hot take.
I'd rather buy a Baconator than spend $10 on that bet.
Really?
He's behind probably.
Really, you're gonna buy a Baconator? What are you gonna do? Okay. So what are you gonna do with the other? What are you gonna do with the rest of it? Because a Baconator's not $10. So clearly you thought you were funny there, but that wasn't funny.
I'm getting a meal. I'm getting fries and a drink.
What about with tax? What if it's a little less? What are you doing with the rest?
It's not less. Trust me.
Okay.
He knows.
The king of the Baconator here.
I'm just saying, I mean...
Guys, when we drop merch, we're going to drop a Colin Tong King of the Baconator shirt.
I'm just saying, dude. But I do respect you for saying Tune could be the starter. That was a good call. But he's not going to win Rookie of the Year.
I didn't ask for your respect.
He's going to win 2 or 3 games.
I don't want your respect.
And he's not.
You can kneel down to me when he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then you can be like, dog, I'm so sorry. Like, that was a good call. But no... Obviously, it's a hot take. I know Colin doesn't give you guys a lot of hot takes out there. His are pretty mild, just like his
the North.
Hey guys, just like his choice in wings, his takes are mild.
I have realistic takes. I have takes backed by statistics and data, where you just throw out crazy opinions and hope one sticks.
Well, we'll see. It's a long season, but just like I like my wings, I like them hot and spicy. So. But we will show you next episode. We're going to film in a couple days before the Thursday night games. We're going to kind of go over all the futures we like, and as well as kind of breaking down week 1. So
yeah, next episode will be a good one.
So maybe Colin will come up with some spicy takes and try some hot chicken wings and kind of grow a set.
What do you mean, dude? I eat Frank's Red Hot every day.
Okay, well that's pretty mild.
Joe, what do we got questions wise?
Guy. Well, let's talk. We didn't talk a ton of college football. I kind of cut you off. You were mid Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, let's the biggest one. Colorado as 20-point dogs. Coach Prime leads them to a big win over TCU, the national runner-up last year. And my goodness, Travis Hunter might be, I don't want to say the best player, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah,
definitely in the Heisman conversation.
He's obviously good.
Snaps, had around 110 receiving yards, a touchdown, had diving interception. He could have another interception, but he dropped it. He had a diving catch in the end zone from like 45 yards that he could have caught. So he had an unreal game that could have been one of the best games I've ever seen from a player.
I mean, obviously he's a freak, and I think the fact that he's going to get the Shohei Ohtani treatment from all the social media platforms, because the fact that he's playing both sides, I mean, it's going to help him win the Heisman, because I think the media is going to be a driving factor. I don't know how all season long he's going to be able to do that, because, I mean...
Dude, he must be in unreal shape. That was crazy.
I mean, yeah, he's got to be, but on top of that, like, the season's only going to get harder, I'd imagine, for them.
Yeah, But TCU, that's no slouch of a team, man. They were saying, oh, you can do that when you're playing at Jackson State, but can you do that in Power 5 football? And he
proved right away he could.
Proved right away he could. And Shedeur Sanders too. Deion's son, the quarterback, was like, man, you guys said we weren't be able to do this because we were playing at an HBCU at a small school, Jackson State. I just threw for over 500 yards. That's the most I've ever thrown in my entire life. You said this was going to be hard, and I'm like,
watch next week.
Damn.
Who are they playing? Do you know who they're playing next week?
They play Nebraska. They're going to beat Nebraska. Nebraska sucks.
I would die laughing if they come out next week and just lay an egg against Matt Rule of all people too.
Yeah, I thought the biggest thing with Colorado.
Although he is a good, I don't know a lot of college football, but for what I do know, Matt Rule is one of the better college coaches in recent history. He was good at Temple, and he was good at Baylor as well.
He was good.
Not last week, okay, but in recent history, he's been one of the better guys. Like, he turned around that, because he came into that Temple program and turned them around, and he came into that Baylor program and turned them around.
Yeah.
And he came into that Carolina program and made it worse, but...
Yeah, he's not an NFL guy. Some guys just aren't NFL coaches. But
although,
college guys usually don't pan out in the NFL, though. It's a completely different, lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because you're like the king of the campus they have to listen to. In the NFL, it's kind of just like, if you kind of run,
well, that's like what happened with Urban Meyer.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to work with dudes that are getting paid.
It's just not going to work. Just not going to work. All right, you want to get into questions now?
Yeah, I don't think there was any other college to talk. Obviously tonight we got Duke Clemson. Who were you on today?
I like Duke with 12 points, but I think Clemson wins.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say the same because you know college and I don't.
Who did you guys pick for Heisman after week 1?
Oh,
it's still Caleb Williams in my mind. He might go back to back. He'll be the second player ever to do that. But Travis Hunter, man, if they continue to win games and he's going both sides like that, he's elite. He could probably be a top 10 pick at corner. I think he could be a first round pick at receiver, but he's definitely gonna play corner in the league. He's elite there, but watch out for Travis Hunter, man.
I'll just say probably somebody on Bama. It's always a good choice to go with.
Okay.
Just somebody on Bama.
Just some player on
Bama.
I'm
sure. Yeah, I'll just go with the field and go Bama. Or Georgia. I'm sure one of those guys will win it. So.
Yeah, a lot of teams kind of struggled out the gate.
Or Bo Nix.
With new quarterbacks. Yeah, Bo Nix, he's definitely in the conversation.
Or Drake May.
Ohio State struggled.
Jordan Travis, too.
Looked good. Ohio State struggled, man. Quarterback McCord did not look good, even with Marvin Harrison and Emeka Buka, the best receiving duo in the country.
Maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit.
Washington looked good. Michael Penix, baby. I had Washington. I had McMillan receiving yards over, and he cashed in the first half.
Maybe Archie Manning plays this year? I don't know. Maybe a little
Archie Manning. He's not going to play Quinn Ewers as the starter, and Quinn Ewers is
what
good.
if Quinn Ewers gets benched?
He could, but it's very unlikely.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Quinn Ewers is probably...
My hot take, Arch Manning wins the Heisman.
That is hot, yeah.
That's just terrible.
Sorry, didn't mean to offend you.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Okay, can we do news now?
Yeah, we could do some news. We did news, right?
Yeah, no. You're gonna ask us the questions.
Questions. Yeah, questions.
Lock in, bro.
My bad.
First off, Jared Crampton.
Crampy.
He asks, can Tua have a long career with applesauce in his brain?
Yo, Jay, that's fucked up, bro. Saying a man's got applesauce in his brains. But, I don't know. That is clearly the biggest issue for Miami is Tua's health. He had 2 concussions last year, one more that was undiagnosed that it was clear he did, which in that game he was going berserk, insane stats, and then after the hit to his head, he threw 3 picks and couldn't complete a pass, so...
I feel bad laughing. That's a funny analogy.
It's fucked up.
Yo, my
I
boy's
don't know.
gonna stuff you in a locker for that.
Yeah.
You better watch out.
Better watch out there.
You better hope you're not up in these parts in the next couple days.
You better
Otherwise,
wa-
you're gonna be stuffed in a locker.
You better watch out there, Lewis. But but I don't know, man. I'm concerned about Tua's health long term for sure. He's still a young guy, and you hope nothing happens and not another hit to the head. But he was debating retirement in the offseason. So
Well, yeah, and what I'll say is when we get more into the Dolphins, you'll see why I do not trust his health, because I have the Dolphins underperforming significantly this year, and I hate like rooting for injury, but it's just this guy's like obviously like one big head injury away, and it's just in the NFL like concussions are so common. So
a lot less common now than they used to be, but
for him it doesn't even like matter.
him,
He's just such a reoccurring
it could
guy.
just take one more, man.
Like
It could
one
take
below
more.
for him could be like
Done.
significantly
Just done.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and obviously all it takes is to get hit the wrong way. It's not even like one of those things that you can really
Yeah, like
prevent.
a
You can try to
like
prevent
a
it.
whiplash or something.
You can
never
try
know.
to prevent it, but I don't know if the Dolphins play the Broncos, but I mean if Sean Payton's on the schedule, he's probably gonna have his guys like doing dirty hits on him. So, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right, next up, Max. Will the Jets make the playoffs?
Yes.
I mean, easy one for you. I was going back and forth between because
Biased or unbiased in
I already
this answer
had-
right now?
unbiased, always unbiased, always unbiased. I had 6 teams already penciled into the playoff picture. I had the Chiefs and Chargers. I had the Bengals and Ravens. I had the Jaguars, and then I had the Bills. And I was battling between the Jets and the Dolphins. And once I dove into it,
And you wonder why I say your taste is mild, bro. That's so chalk.
I had to go with the Jets. I'm sure you're happy, Hafe, but we just talked about Tua. His health is a big factor for me. I just don't trust him to stay healthy all year. The Jets have an elite defense. Aaron Rodgers looks rejuvenated. Garrett Wilson was a stud last year, even though he had the worst quarterback play probably in the league. Breece Hall's back. It's just my X factor for that team's the offensive line, but there's also some other little nuggets we'll get into the Jets that I had to lean towards the Jets.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Yeah, save it for a little later.
That-
But
that
yeah,
in favor.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to say the Jets are going to make the playoffs. Biased, unbiased, however you want to spin it. They're going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I'm repping the Jets tonight anyway.
They have the longest drought in the league.
I got my
Playoff drought in
sauce
the league.
jersey on. Hey, how about you don't stink up the joint when I'm trying to talk? We don't need to hear that negative. Only positive vibes, all right? We're going to just say all the pros about the Jets, not the cons.
What is that, since 2012? That sucks, man.
I think
What
2010.
were you, in, like, 6th grade?
All I know is I was crying. All I know is I was crying when they lost.
You know, little boy, young enough to cry. It's all
I
right.
still cry.
7
Alright.
years away from puberty.
I'll probably cry this year if they miss the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you know.
Although I don't want to hear about crying. This fucking kid last year for the Giants Eagles playoff game, he goes, "Hey, come on over. I'm having people over for the game." I'm at work, so I'm like, "All right, I'll come over at halftime." He sends me a text, "Bro, don't come anymore. I'm going to bed." It's 35-0 or whatever it was. He's in his room, but the best part about it is he's in his room, but he's still watching the game anyway.
I didn't want
so
to hang
everyone
out with
goes in there and he's laying in his bed all teary-eyed with his phone in his hand.
That's
so.
not true. I wasn't teary. I wasn't crying. I was more pissed off than
Yeah,
I wasn't sitting there.
Those were tears of anger.
12-year-old Reagan.
Yeah, well, it's okay. The truest of true football fans cry. They get angry. So there's no shame in getting angry over your
It's
team.
okay. I cried tears of joy after we won the Super Bowl, but you wouldn't know what that feels like. What do we got next, Joe?
That was sick.
Wow.
Wow, that was cool.
There's nothing to say about that.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know,
I wasn't there,
You just got
so-
fucked. You just got
No,
fucked. It's
I-
okay.
We were lucky to witness
It's okay.
that twice, though.
It's okay.
All right, first off, you were a Seahawks fan back in the day. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's out of left field.
This kid was crying when the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl, so I don't want to hear that.
He always throws that out when we shit on him about the Giants because he calls me a Seahawks fan. Just
He was.
for no reason.
Jared Carrington, comment in the comments because you know it's true.
Yeah,
I was
a
at,
Seahawks
this is
fan.
true story, I was at his house for the Super Bowl and he was very upset when the Seahawks lost.
Yeah.
So you can say either he's a big Seahawks guy or he's a big
I was a
Patriots
big
hater.
Russell Wilson fan when I was in fucking high school.
Oh, so now the truth's coming out.
I always told you that. You just like to fuck with me for no reason.
Sorry,
Wow.
there's no reason behind
I
it.
feel some
Oh,
tension.
well, because we always shit on the Jets and you have nothing, so you just throw out, random shit.
I only spit the truth and the truth only.
See?
My fandom's always been there. I've
It's
always
okay.
stuck with the Jets.
When we get to the Jets, we'll highlight just how bad they've been the past 10 years, so it's okay.
Are you
But
kidding
he
me?
forgets about that.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't forget about it?
I would erase that shit from my memory.
Yeah, I mean, it must suck.
There's no good
scoring the least
memories.
amount of points over the last 10 years, you know? It's tough.
How about we leave the past in the
It's a
past and we go
boring
into the
team.
present? And in the present, where I think me and Max are living, the Jets are in the playoffs. All right, let's move on to the next question.
What's the biggest reason the Bills have not been able to make the Super Bowl with Josh Allen?
I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's Josh Allen because,
No.
yes.
No.
Okay, what's the reason then?
Dude.
Okay, what's the reason? Before you
The reason is they're having... The thing is, they're an elite team, and a lot of those games they played against Kansas City could have gone either way. The one game, the very famous one where it went to overtime, the Chiefs scored and they called it. Remember the Chiefs with like 13 seconds left, got down the field, kicked that field goal, got in overtime, and they scored. If the Bills, I mean, they shouldn't even got that field goal off, but if the Bills get the ball in overtime, chances are they score as well. That's why they actually changed the rule, that both teams get a possession now. Problem for the Bills is they're always elite. They're winning 13 games, but they're not getting the 1 seed. The Chiefs are getting the 1 seed, so the Chiefs get a bye. So then the Bills have to go through the Chiefs, but not just the Chiefs. They also have to go through another elite team like the Bengals. So I don't know why. They could win these games, but they're just falling short.
So what's
They're
your
right
reason?
there.
So you're blaming it not on the Bills, but on the Chiefs and Bengals just being better.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, I'm not shitting on Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen's been elite. I just think games haven't gone their way, and I don't know. I don't really know how to pinpoint one thing. They're right there. They're right there. You're blaming Josh Allen.
I mean, I think he needs to step up. We've seen Mahomes do it year in and year
Dude,
out.
how can you blame him after,
Dude,
I can blame. It's so easy, dude. It's so easy.
17 seconds,
Dude,
he put
I'm not okay. Okay, fine.
How do you blame him for
Okay,
that? He put his
okay,
team
all
in
right.
that position.
How many times has it been 17 seconds? 1 year. What about the other years? What about last year? What's your
but
excuse for last year?
Josh
Okay.
Allen has a passer rating of 99.6 with 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns,
okay, hold
and
on.
4 interceptions in 8 games in the playoffs. But you're just gonna blame Josh Allen. With
All right,
no
well, what happened?
fucking
Yeah, I'm going to blame him
context.
for last year. Last year, who was the Super Bowl favorite going into last season?
The Bills.
Yes. And who almost lost to a rookie, undrafted quarterback in the first round?
Not Josh Allen. They won the game.
I said almost lost.
Okay.
The Bills. And then who got bounced the next round? The Bills.
Okay. You also
All I'm
that's
saying is,
last
man,
year.
Joe Burrow's gotten the Bengals over the Chiefs. Josh Allen hasn't been able to. Like I said, and like we were discussing this before, it's a league where the quarterback gets all the love or he gets all the hate.
I just think that's a stupid way to look at
Okay,
it. It's a team.
And maybe that's a stupid
There's
way to look at
22
it,
men on
but
the
that's the
field
way
with the whole
everybody
coaching
in
staff.
all of
All
the
you
media
just
looks at it.
didn't
That's
have
the
a
way the
quarterback,
whole
bro.
entire media looks at it, and
Yeah,
you
well,
know
the
that's true.
Fucking media sucks, and just to be like the stereotypical media. I mean, that's not really
All right, fine. Here at Around the Felt, we pride ourselves on not being the stereotypical media.
just blaming Josh Allen. I just said his playoff stats, bro. He's fucking elite.
So you didn't blame anyone either. So who do you blame? Just luck of the draw? I mean, because
not luck of the draw,
obviously we can pinpoint to the 1 year where they almost made it and they were kind of screwed over. Okay, but the rules were the rules when it was that season. Obviously they changed it because of that. But what about all the other seasons?
I just think they're an elite team losing to elite teams, and I don't know.
So you think it's all? So you think it's all there? You just think it's?
It's there. Like the games could have gone either way. Like I don't think there's particularly someone to blame. Just as a team, they just got to get the job done. They just haven't gotten it done. They haven't closed out the games. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you could pin it on one person or one player.
Fair enough. We'll see. All I know is this is a make or break year for them.
It is, and we'll get into that as well because Josh Allen's cap hit is about to go through the roof.
Yep. And also, I can only imagine how the fans are going to react if it's another year where they don't even get to the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
I'd imagine their expectations have got to be Super Bowl this year or AFC
It
Championship
is.
at
No,
minimum.
it's super. When you're an elite team like that, it's Super Bowl or bust.
And they've been an elite team for a couple of years now. It's not
Yeah.
like this is year one of the project. It's been like
They're, yeah,
4
that's,
years
that's
now
the
where
whole
they've
thing.
had
That's
Super
the
Bowl
whole thing.
aspirations.
Yeah,
I mean, last
4
year they
years.
were the favorite.
I would say 4 years,
And this year I think they're third behind the Chiefs and Eagles. So
probably.
maybe the Bengals are ahead of them, but I
Yeah,
think they
Bengals
still have
might
the
be ahead of
Buffalo ahead of them but I'm not even sure. But either way, they're still one of the favorites. So
We'll get into Buffalo. That's the
Yeah.
first team we'll dive into today.
all right, what's next?
Just Garrett wants to know what your prediction is for Jets Bills.
Jets
Alright.
Bills week 1. We'll get in more to that the next episode, but I do have Buffalo winning week 1 on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously am going to be a little biased and say I have the Jets, but I mean, I don't want to dive into this too much because, like we said, we're going to break down all the games on Wednesday. So I don't think we have to highlight this too much. But what I will say is 9-11 at MetLife. It's going to be a big game. So obviously the Jets are New York's team, so I hope they come out fighting for New York.
They're not.
They're not.
I'm sorry, who is?
All right, when we come back from break, we will have the first team of the division, the Buffalo Bills. What's up, everyone? It's Colin, the leader from Around the Felt. Make sure you check out our new golf challenge video, a little NFL trivia. It was a lot of fun making it. If you guys enjoy it, we'll do it again, and drop us some more ideas to do. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, I really did have a lot of fun doing that golf video with you, Colin. That was fun.
It was a good time. We did. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But although I kicked Reagan's ass stroke-wise, the actual
Stroke? What do you mean by that?
golf strokes. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm not used to stroke that thing.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Hit
That
those
sounded-
balls.
Never didn't sound right the way you put it out there. So
Okay, you know, it's a good term for golf.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's dive in. The defending division champions, the Buffalo Bills. They had some decently key losses this offseason. Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, now in Chicago. Roger Saffold, their left guard, is out. Devin Singletary, their lead back, is gone. And Isaiah McKenzie is also gone.
Well,
He's
I mean,
a wide receiver 3.
it's not a shocker that they lost them to Chicago because obviously we saw the kind of money they gave him. And we already highlighted how much Edmonds really got. So
Yeah, ton of money for
I mean,
a linebacker, man.
how do you keep a guy when you're in a win now mode and you're paying like your
It's tough to pay
quarterback and your
linebackers.
wide receiver and a
It's
bunch of
tough to pay
other
linebackers.
prime positions?
Yeah.
So
You have Matt Milano, who's
yeah,
probably
stud.
better, so...
Yeah.
You could afford to lose him. But let's get in the offense a little bit. I am very high on James Cook this year in real life football and in fantasy football.
Who?
Last year-
James Dalvin Cook?
Yes, James Dalvin, not Dalvin James. James
Yeah.
Dalvin.
I found that I heard that for the first time the other day, and I was like,
Yeah, I was like, why would you do that? You know, I don't know.
mean, hell, I wish I was Reagan Garrett Loescher and my brother
There
was
you go.
Garrett Reagan Loescher, and you could be
Yeah.
like Jared, Zach, Colin, Tong.
Yeah, that works. I would have 3 names and then yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
can't forget P3.
So they went from the 30th ranked run team in terms of yards per carry, success rate, and expected points added per attempt the previous year, 2021, to number 1 in yards per carry, 2 in success rate, and 5 in expected points added per attempt on first down, which was very good because they have all these light boxes because Josh Allen has a cannon of an arm and they sling the rock around. They saw light boxes the second highest rate, and James Cook was very good. He had 4.14 yards before contact on 28 first down runs, which was first in the league. To put that in perspective, the average is 1.47 yards per carry. He averaged 4.14. That is unreal. And on all downs and all quarters, he had 2.69 yards, which is the third best in
Damn.
the league out of 96 running backs. He averaged
Yeah, no
6.2
shit.
yards per touch on 110 touches, and 27% of his 89 carries were a first down or a touchdown, which was 6th best out of 66 qualified running backs last season.
So you're gonna get a lot of James Cook stock in fantasy, is what I'm hearing.
I actually don't have him at all. I wish I did. I was
Guess
high
you
on
should
him.
have done the AFC
I was-
East
I was-
research.
I was
earlier,
like
huh?
high on him just because I know he has an opportunity to take advantage of that backfield because I don't think Damian Harris is really a threat at all. We kind of know what he is. And then I did my research on the Bills and I was like, damn, I should have reached for James Cook.
I mean, the only thing Damian Harris is going to do is steal some rushing touchdowns. In the
Yeah,
red
he
zone.
might get some touchdowns, but Cook has all the explosive
been a-
ability, and he's a great receiving back as well.
Yeah, it's just Damian Harris has been a double-digit touchdown guy before in New England, so.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it, but it's good to see that they're improving on the run blocking. Dorsey did a good job calling plays that he knew teams were spread out, and they could run the football up the middle, and they did it at a successful rate, even though they still threw the ball at the 3rd highest rate in the league on first down because, you know, they were more efficient that way. They had an elite offense, elite passing attack, but they were successful running the ball when they wanted to, which is good. However, I do have a problem with the Bills, and that is Josh Allen's cap hit after this season goes from 18.6 to 47.1 million. This is their year. We talked about earlier. They keep getting close. They keep falling just short. They've got in the AFC Championship game. They keep losing these barn burners to the Chiefs, and then they lost to the Bengals. They got to get it done because that's why you can't afford to pay Tremaine Edmonds. And Josh Allen's cap hit goes up another 30 million. Another 30 million. So who else?
a lot of money.
Who else are you gonna lose? You know what I mean? Diggs is
Yeah.
locked in.
And
Von
odds
Miller's
are-
locked in. But
And odds are, I mean, they're going to be a playoff team this year, so it's not like they got a lot of draft capital or high-end draft capital next
Yeah.
year. I mean, late first, late second, you know, so.
I like you talk about the draft because they drafted Dalton Kincaid in the first round this year, tight end of Utah.
Oh, yeah, a guy that we've debated about.
We've debated
from a fantasy
lot,
perspective, I mean, obviously the talent's there. I know that. I'm just saying I was more so debating it from a fantasy perspective, not his NFL impact on the field. I think he'll have a big impact. Whether it's I know obviously he's more of a receiving tight end, but still, I think he'll have a decent impact for them.
Yeah, I mean,
another target.
Buffalo doesn't really line up with two tight end sets very often. They kind of rely on Dawson Knox, and Dawson.
I'd imagine that would change though, because think about it, they went out and paid Dawson Knox.
They did.
So
and he's more of a receiving.
And he
tight
hasn't
end
really
as well.
done anything to prove that he didn't deserve to be approved or paid or is regressing. So my theory is that they're going to be running a lot of more two tight end sets this year.
Yeah, they'll definitely use
or
more,
potentially using one as a fullback.
Yeah, they'll definitely use more personnel with two tight ends, but Kincaid lined up in the slot on 55.1% of his snaps at Utah. So I think it's going to be Knox on one side. He might be lined up on the line of scrimmage or in a two-point stance kind of off in like a wing formation, and you have Kincaid in the slot on the other side or even on the same side as Knox. So I think they're going to move him around. I wouldn't be surprised if they had three wide receiver sets and Kincaid was the lone receiver on the wide side. He generated a 5.9% catch rate above expected over the last two seasons, which was the highest rate amongst tight ends drafted in this class. So that's obviously elite. He's the best pass catching tight end. Yeah, 5.9% above expected. That's good.
Yeah,
that's very good.
No, I meant
it's best.
I meant in his class. Yeah, in his specific class.
Yeah, but this was
specific.
People were saying it was like one of the best tight end draft classes ever. Yeah. It was absolutely loaded. We saw how many got drafted. So he's
I know. I was just more so. I'm just like. I just think it's a funny stat. It's just like a nitpicky, but obviously, you can't take 5.9% away.
Tell Sharp it's nitpicky.
Okay, well,
tell Warren.
I will not, because I'll never see him.
Okay.
But if I do, I'll tell him. I'll be like, yo, my boy Colin loves you, but he's been taking too many nitpicky stats from you.
Yeah, he's got a great.
But yeah, so obviously, like you said, we kind of went over some of the weapons. We haven't even gotten into their best weapon yet, Stephon Diggs.
He's elite. He's going to be elite again.
He's elite. Obviously, we hope. He's kind of been in the news and the media. He seems like when he's not happy, he's not happy. So
he lets you know.
I think if this team starts out slow, he's going to let you know. So.
Thing is that he was liking shit on Twitter about, like Trayvon was saying stuff about him wanting to leave, and even they mentioned the Giants, and Stephon Diggs liked it. Problem is that just can't happen because the way his contract is structured, there's way too much dead cap. The Bills would never move him. Maybe after this year it lessens, and if it's that big of an issue where he's just not getting along with Josh Allen, you have no other choice, maybe. But the way the contract is structured, it's really tough to get out of it in the next two seasons. So it'd be interesting to see if he tries to force his way out. I don't know, but
I would imagine he would start to regress in the future too. I mean, he's already 29 now.
Yeah, he's 29. I mean,
he's kind of in that same category as Adams, Hill, where it's like we don't know like how many more elite years they have left.
I think he's still got another like 2 to 3 elite years left.
Yeah, I mean, plus if Josh Allen's his quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely going to help.
This offense is phenomenal. They were first in points. The last 3 seasons combined, they're first in points per game at 29.4, and they're actually first in points per game allowed at 19.4. So they have a plus 10 point differential, which is clearly the best in the league.
Yeah, I'd imagine that would change this year.
That's dominant. Still. That's dominant.
Yeah, and obviously their line is pretty stacked. I mean, Mitch Morris, they got him from KC, who's Mahomes' former center, and then McGovern, a guy from Dallas. Deion Dawkins is obviously one of the better tackles in the league at a Temple.
He's good. Yeah, their right tackle Spencer Brown's not very good though.
What do you think about that? I knew he went to Temple.
That's good for you. Did you look that up?
No.
How'd you know that?
I know ball.
Oh, this guy knows ball. You hear that, folks?
Yeah, guys. I'm just trying to get my college football trivia down when we do that.
Spencer Brown was 27th of 32 right tackles in pressure rate allowed, so it is a solid unit. Nothing special, but that would be the weak link on that unit. What do you think of fantasy-wise? I kind of touched on I love James Cook. Obviously, I love Stephon Diggs. What do you think about Gabe Davis?
I'm not
touching him. He was hyped up last year. A lot of people took him, and then he didn't live up to what we expected.
Yeah, and I think with their schedule, I mean, they play a lot of teams with a lot of decent corners. I mean, you look at the Jets, Miami, New England. I mean, their division alone has very stacked secondary. So, I mean, I think Diggs will obviously still get his. I'm not saying that, but I just wouldn't be going for Gabe Davis. I mean, I guess you could take a shot, but there's other guys I think that are more proven around his ADP.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Davis either. Although he did get named a team captain, so maybe his morale's up and he, performs well. But
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, though. He could be one of those guys that's
you
don't have to be the best.
Better. He's more
I know, but I'm saying you don't have to be the
best
player on the field to be a team captain.
Who said that? I didn't say that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, okay. This guy knows ball.
Well,
I have to be the best player in the field to be captain.
I know a guy, actually. Funny story. So, going back in high school, there was this kid. He wasn't the best player on the field, but he was a captain his junior year and senior year. So, it's possible that's what Gabe Davis do. He's a locker room guy. So,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
I did. Where do you have this team in the division again?
I actually have them coming in second. I'll tell you later who. I mean, I'm sure you guys can guess who I have.
Wow, the guy in the
But I
Sauce
haven't
Gardner jersey.
I have them going at 12-5, so I'm still very high on the Bills. What do you got them at?
I have them at 11-6, but I have them winning the division at 11-6. I think these teams are going to beat up on each other a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's expected. And
They're coming off a 13-win season. They won 9 games by 9 or more points, so a lot of blowouts. They had 3 losses where they lost by a field goal or less. So when
yeah, I
they
mean,
lost,
that
it was
Minnesota
close.
game they should
Yeah,
not
that
have
was
lost last
fluky.
year.
That
I mean,
was
they went
very
13-3
fluky.
last year, and honestly, they should have been 14-2. They should not have lost that
They should
Minnesota
not
game.
should not have lost that game, and then they would have been the 1 seed, and then you have to
Yeah.
avoid playing both Cincinnati
Yeah.
and Kansas City.
Yeah, well,
It's tough.
I don't even
It's
know.
tough.
Honestly, that was such a weird game. I don't even know who to blame.
I mean, they were dominant last year, and Josh Allen had the UCL injury in his elbow that happened about midway through the season, and he also had his highest interception rate of his career.
Yeah.
You'd hope that comes down a little bit.
I would
but
imagine it would.
He had interception problems before Dable really took him under his wing, and now we've seen
he's
it in
always been
season
one of those-
after. Yeah, but he toned it down when Dable was calling the shots in 21, and then in 2022, Dable's gone, and his interceptions go back up.
Yeah,
so.
and then look at Daniel Jones. He had 5 picks last
he had
year.
5
So I think
picks.
that's more of a Dable system thing. I think Josh
Absolutely,
Allen's
but he
probably
keeps
one of
your
those.
turnovers down.
He's a high risk, high reward guy. So.
He is, yeah. He is more of a high risk, high reward guy.
I mean, clearly we've seen that. He always puts his body on the line. So.
Yeah. Okay. You want to touch defense?
Yeah.
This is an elite unit. There's no doubt about it. Just mentioned the last 3 seasons, 19 points per game allowed. Ed Oliver, 14 quarterback hits, but only had 2.5 sacks. Out of Houston. I'm happy you knew that.
Yep.
He got picked very high. He was a highly touted
Well,
prospect
at one point
and
he was,
recruit, but people thought he was going to go number 1
I was
overall.
going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, but he's not lived up. I mean, he's good. He was 5th amongst DTs in run-stop win rate. You'd just like to see that pass rush production climb
It's
a little
hard as
more.
a D tackle, though.
It is, but, the elite ones do it.
Yeah.
Quentin Williams does it. Aaron Donald does it. Chris Jones does it. Dexter Lawrence does it. Jeffrey Simmons does it. Those are the elite guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it Oliver elite. He's probably like that second, third tier of guys. But
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, that makes sense.
But, and obviously they went out and got Leonard Floyd. So
Leonard Floyd, yeah, he's his best days are behind him, but he's still productive. He could be a productive pass rusher in the absence of Miller early on.
Yeah, well, Miller's on the...
He's on the pup, so
the
he's
pup,
out,
so he's
at
out
least
for
the
4
first
games.
4 games, yes.
Yeah, so that'll be good to step in. I mean, Gregory Rousseau out of Miami.
He is out of
me.
Miami.
Yeah, I know ball, but he's obviously starting to come into his own. I think he's going to take a bigger step.
But
I think he's going to take a bigger step this year, and I
It's
think he has to take a bigger step.
Yeah, he has to.
And then they have Shaq Lawson. I mean, just looking at this, I didn't even realize how many first-round picks they actually have on this defense. I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but they have a lot of first-rounders on this defense. I mean, Lawson, Rousseau, Ed Oliver, White, Kari Elam. I mean,
Kair.
Von Miller was also a first-round pick too. So there's a lot of guys that were first-round picks. So
yeah, I will say you mentioned Greg Rousseau. He was also a first-round pick. He had a 17% pressure rate when Miller was on the field opposite of him.
Yeah.
Without Miller, he only had 11% pressure rate.
I wonder why that is.
2.5 seconds of the snap. So I don't know. It's just an interesting little stat. When all the attention is going to Miller, Rousseau can beat the other guy.
I mean, it makes sense. They say
this
the
defense
best
is a lot
They
better.
say
with Von
the
Miller
best
on the
pass rushers out there usually get their counterparts paid. I
Yeah.
mean, we see that time and time again. I mean, look how many guys Aaron Donalds make look a lot better than they probably really are.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point. AJ Penisa from, do you know?
Who?
Where AJ's from?
AJ Penza? No.
Iowa.
Florida, I guess.
Iowa.
I'll go Florida anytime.
Chop! Career high, 10 QB hits, 6 sacks last season. Did take him 3 years in the league to finally get up to 6 sacks, though, so not living up to it. We mentioned earlier, Matt Milano. You lose Tremaine Edmonds, it doesn't hurt as bad when you have Matt Milano. He's an elite linebacker, 2nd-team All-Pro last season.
Stud,
18 run stuff, 7th in the league.
He is a stud.
12 TFLs, 11 pass defended, 19 pressures. He's the only player in the league to have double digits in TFLs, passes defended, and pressures. So that's just all facets of the game. Elite. You love that. Their secondary is also elite, but Tre'Davious White didn't play till Week 12 last season. Hope you have him healthy. Kyrie Elam out of Florida. Last year was a first-round pick. He really did not play well. 54th in yards allowed per coverage snap. He didn't even get a ton of snaps either until later in the season, so you hope he can live up to that status.
And then their safety's older, but still
but
good.
Arguably the best tandem in the league.
Boyer and
They
Hyde.
missed a lot of time last season. They signed Taylor Rapp from the Rams to back him up. Last year, Tre'Davious White.
And DeMar Hamlin's back.
And DeMar Hamlin's back, yes. Probably going to win comeback player of the year, as he rightfully should.
I don't know if that. Yeah, I mean.
Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde combined to miss 31 games last season, which is a shit ton. And they still won 13 games. So, this is an elite team.
I do want to say this
tougher,
about DeMar Hamlin, though. Don't bet him to win the player of the year. He's minus 700. So, like, if you want to bet that award, either take a shot on somebody, like, whether he wins it or not, like, minus 700 is not worth it at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. There's so many things that can happen. I mean,
if you get it minus 300, I'd do it just because it's almost.
He's ballooned up to minus 700 because everyone's probably thinking the same thing. Like, how do you not give it to a guy that almost died? So,
all right, who's your MVP?
I mean, it's pretty obvious, Josh Allen.
It's Allen. He's elite. Okay, let's not spend a lot of time there. X Factor?
So my X Factor is James Cook.
I like it.
I said him because
I like it.
He's obviously stepping into a bigger role. They spent the capital on him, taking him in the second round just last year. They traded Zach Moss at the deadline last year, and then they let Devin Singletary walk.
Who's out for the season.
Hines is gone as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Hines is out for the season.
Out for the season, yeah.
So that just leaves them with Damian Harris and Latavius Murray, who are two older guys. I mean, Damian Harris, like I said, will get the red zone work, but can James Cook, with this, what we're expecting, probably to cut 200 touches this season, what can he do with it?
He should, as a runner and receiver.
I'd say one of the issues with Buffalo that I probably should have said earlier, with the reason they haven't been able to move on to the playoffs, is they can't run the ball. And obviously come playoff time, you need to be able to run the ball. And you can't have Josh Allen just running QB sneaks. So if James Cook can kind of come along and be...
Well, they were more efficient last year running the ball, but they are trying to tone down the amount of runs that Allen has because they want to keep him
and that
healthy.
makes sense.
Makes sense.
And James Cook obviously is a pretty good pass-catching back. I mean, I can't say elite yet, but I mean, he's got the skill sets to become one of the better ones, so he's my X Factor.
My X Factor is Von Miller. Need him to come back healthy because that defense with him on the field is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he had 8 sacks and was 6th in ESPN's pass rush win rate amongst edge rushers before tearing his ACL on Thanksgiving. He's still, at this age, at this time in his career, one of the best pass rushers in the game, and he takes his defense to a whole nother level if he's healthy. So if he can come back week 5, ready to roll, I think this team will be very happy with that.
Yeah, and then talking about the defensive side, my D-boy is Matt Milano. You kind of highlighted it before.
Me as well.
Okay, so we don't have to talk about it a ton, but you highlighted with all those stats before. He's the
he's
leader of that
every
defense.
facet.
There's a
he
reason
can rush
why
the
they
passer, defend the run, he can cover.
And there's a reason why they were okay with letting Edmonds go. So
yeah.
And then who's their biggest impact rookie for you?
Definitely Kincaid.
Yeah,
definitely Kincaid.
I mean, you could say
he's got the clearest path
you
to
could
playing
say,
time.
Well, they're going to be starting Osiris Torrance, but
Go
it's
Gators. He's a bruiser, more of a run blocker. They kind of like to sling the ball, so he transferred to Florida last year after 3 years at Louisiana Monroe.
So yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I would say Kincaid too.
Yeah.
Whether or not I like him for fantasy doesn't matter from this team's perspective. So, all right. I mean, I don't think we've been spending a lot of time on them. So we got other teams in the division. So
let's go to Miami.
Miami, the team that I'm going to start it off with a bang, have coming in dead last in the division at 8-9. They are tied with the Patriots, but I have them going 8-9. Vegas is the win total at 9.5, so it's not as crazy as you think. But my whole reason is, I hate to root for injuries, and I'm not at all. I just can't seem to find a way that Tua stays healthy this year. He's been yet to prove that he can stay healthy. So, and obviously, like, they went out and got Mike White, and as a Jet fan, like, yeah, he's fun at quarterback, but you're not going to win games with him. Let's be honest.
No, you're not.
Especially in this division and with how hard the AFC East schedule is. So I kind of had him going 8-9, just tempering expectations, assuming Tua's going to get injured and miss some time. Don't like it that way, and also, I mean, they've already kind of got the injury bug. They had to throw Jeff Wilson, their number 1 running back, on the pup. Jalen Ramsey, their big addition in the offseason, on the pup. So obviously, when you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, it doesn't really matter on the offensive side of the ball who's throwing them the ball, but clearly there's a huge gap between when Tua was a quarterback and Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater. So
yeah, there was a huge difference. They went 8-3 with him last year in a game that he started and finished, so not getting hurt mid-game.
Yeah,
and they were
like the Jets game. I remember he got injured on the second play. So
1-6 in all other games, and through the first 11 games of the season during that stretch, they were 8-0 with Tua and 0-3 without him. So
yeah,
He is the engine that runs this offense because you need someone to get the ball to those fast receivers on the outside, like you mentioned. And Tua actually took a huge step last year. In 2021, he was 16th in EPA per attempt, 17th in success rate, 27th in yards per attempt. Last year, jumped up to 2nd, 5th, and 1st in those categories, which is phenomenal. And that's when you add Tyreek Hill, and he was able to disperse the ball to them. He was a top 5 quarterback on deep throws and on third downs, led the league in yards per attempt, led the league with a 6.3% touchdown rate.
Well, yeah, he was leading the league in passing yards, too, before he went down originally. He was lighting the world on fire. And while we're on the subject of Tua, I'm just going to say he's my X Factor. I'm assuming he is your X Factor also?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it's clearly like...
It's an obvious one.
It's clearly like if he can stay healthy, and it's not even a talent thing, because when he's healthy, he's obviously pretty talented. He's improved every year he's been in the league.
Yeah, he's very accurate.
So, and granted, that's probably having Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill versus coming into the league and not having those two guys. But, I mean,
having Devontae Parker, who I'm going to shit on when we get to the Patriots.
Confirmed not a big Devontae Parker guy over here.
No,
but
trash.
But yeah, so that's why he's my X Factor. It's if he can stay healthy. I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. I'd imagine if he stays healthy, I could see this team winning the Super Bowl. I mean, and I'm a Jet fan, and I could see them if everyone stays healthy. On paper, I mean, they're one of the most talented teams on paper.
Well, I'd say their defense is... I actually would say they're a very similar team to the Jets, where their defenses are elite. The offensive lines are a little shaky, more so than you'd think.
Yeah, they do have a similar thing. I mean, they have a better receiving core.
Yeah.
And we have obviously a much better running back room and a much better quarterback, but still. I agree the defenses are very similar in the way they're built up. But let's talk about the rest of the team.
I mean, I have them at 9-8. This team.
So you're also not very high on them, which
it's tough because if Tua's fully healthy, like I think their ceiling is like 12 wins. But if Tua's out and he takes concussion early on, then I think their ceiling is like 7 wins with the schedule they have. They have the 3rd most difficult strength of schedule, 2nd most difficult schedule of opposing defenses. So they're playing tough defenses all year, like you mentioned.
That's the whole AFC East thing when you play 6 games.
Yeah, when you all play each other.
And you have the Patriots.
So much.
Because every defense, I mean, I think you could make a case that all 4 of those defenses are top 10 in the league.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely can.
So when you got to do that 6 times, it's obviously going to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line I mentioned is a little shaky. They were 24th in ESPN's pass block win rate last year. However, Teron Armstead, their left tackle, they brought up from the Saints a couple years ago.
Paid a lot of money to bring
4th amongst left tackles in pressure rate allowed. And when he was out for 4 games last year, Miami left tackles allowed a 13.7% pressure rate. So it jumps by 10%. That's a huge, huge jump. Yeah. So him being healthy is key, especially to keeping Tua upright.
Yeah, and obviously they got Austin Jackson there, who they drafted out of USC a little while ago.
Yeah,
I know ball.
All right. Yeah,
and then Robert Hunt,
baby,
the famous guy to almost get a touchdown as a lineman that got called back.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that play when he stole the screen pass and then got absolutely helicoptered and then stretched the ball out just for a flag to be called because
that was sick.
The lineman can't catch the ball. But that's sick. And I don't know if you've seen his social media, but his profile picture is like a graphic of him like stretching the ball out. So it's pretty funny, but that doesn't really have much to do with it. And then obviously they have Isaiah Wynn now. The only thing with him that I don't know is he's a New England lineman. So
classic. They leave New England, they go somewhere else, get a lot of money, and then they don't play as well.
So it's tough to say what's going to be going on with him. I mean, I'm gonna lean on the side of probably he won't pan out because pretty much every lineman Belichick lets go doesn't pan out where they go.
Joe Thuney. Thuney's a beast.
Yeah, and now he's on KC. But still, going back to my point, it usually doesn't pan out when they leave New England. Yeah. Because then they go to a different coaching style, they get the money, and I don't know if it's because they get the money or Belichick knows they're washed, whatever.
Belichick's always one step ahead.
And then the wide receiver core, we said already, elite.
No, it's the best deal in the league, in my opinion. I'd put A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith second. I'd put these 2 first.
Really? No Jamar Chase or T. Higgins?
I'd put them third. Just because I like Devontae Smith over Higgins. I like Waddle over Higgins.
Oh, so okay. All right. I mean, that would be a great debate for our show.
I mean,
but I don't want to segue. Yeah, I don't want to segue away.
We're about to go through a rabbit hole right here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you definitely could go on a huge tangent there. And then they got my guy Braxton Berrios, who's on his AFC East tour. He's on his 3rd AFC East team now.
His girlfriend hooked up with what, a 16-year-old? Is that the guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't Alex Earl or something. I guess she was hooking up with an underage guy. So,
poor Braxton, man.
I mean, good for that kid, though. I mean, imagine being an underage kid and getting with, like, a pretty girl.
Couldn't be you.
Yo, couldn't be me. No
couldn't
way.
Be me. Couldn't
yeah,
be
I was
me.
going to say,
Yeah.
definitely couldn't be you either. I mean, there's a reason why they say we got a face for radio over here. I mean, even though we got the camera, I'm sure most of you guys listen to the podcast up, so you don't have to look at our ugly mugs.
Yeah, I will say my advantage over you was my balls dropped by 16 and yours didn't. So.
Yeah, no, that's obviously a huge advantage. But
What do you,
all right.
Yeah. So,
so you're saying I got a chance with Alex Earl now? That's all I'm hearing.
So what do you think fantasy wise? I think it's pretty clear. Like the receivers love them. They're elite. Hill's been a top 6 wide receiver in per game scoring each of the last 6 seasons. He had 170 targets last year, which is unbelievable. 119 catches, 1,700 yards, 7 touchdowns. Waddle had a league-leading 18.1 yards per catch
Can
last
I
season.
see you do a
so,
Waddle dance?
I just don't want to get up, but if you do it, I'll do it.
No, I mean I'm a Jet fan. I'm a Jet fan, so I can't. But you're.
Nah, that's fucked up.
Why? If it was like if you wanted me to do like a Cowboys dance, I'd do it. I'd be like yeehaw. So let's see you do the Waddle. Come on for the camera.
A little sitting Waddle.
It looks better than the one they put in Madden, but okay.
Yeah, the one in Madden's terrible. What do you think about this backfield, though? Are you touching the backfield?
I mean, I have Raheem Mostert in the fantasy league. I got him at pretty good ADP because it was right before the Jeff Wilson news. I mean, hell, if you could get him late in drafts, I'd take him. I mean, they haven't really brought anyone else in. I mean, A-Chain just got
Devon A-Chain.
He just, I think, got his non-contact jersey off today, so... And they haven't brought anyone else in. I mean, Myles Gaskin's gone. Savan... I don't know. Ahmed. I don't even know how to say his first name, but Ahmed's still there, but, like, he's had his chance, so it's like, to me, there's not a lot of guys there.
They're just dying for someone to take over the backfield. They're kind of going the San Fran approach of running back by committee, but then San Fran
Mostert's proved that, like,
McCaffrey.
Mostert's got juice in the tank.
Yeah, but he's like 31
now. He's just very injury prone.
And he hasn't played. I don't think he's played over 12. I think he's played over 12 games, like twice in his career.
But I mean, for fantasy though, I mean, I'd still take the shot on him early on. I mean, think about it. For ADP wise, it's not like you freaking got to give up much. It's not like you got to. I
actually just had a draft too, and I took Devon A-Chain like very late.
Yeah.
And then
I took A-Chain for best ball leagues. Any of you doing the best ball leagues out there, take A-Chain.
I took A-Chain
because he could be a league winner at the end of the year if he takes over the backfield. Because you're getting him in. I mean, for those of you who don't know, those are 18-round drafts, and it always puts together your best lineup. So if you take him in like the 16th, 17th, 18th round where he's going right now, and come the end of the year, a lot of people who don't have him, and then you got a guy who's, I don't know, even if he's an RB2, top 24 running back, he could win you some best ball leagues at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of took him over Jeff Wilson, even though Jeff Wilson was ranked like 40 spots higher on the board, and then it wrapped all the way around, and Jeff Wilson was still there, like 40 spots after his ADP. I was like, you know what, I have A-Chain, I'm going to take Wilson too. I don't love this backfield, but if you're going to go for it, I would get like probably 2 of them and just see if one of them is the guy that takes over, because they have durability issues. So there's going to be some good flex spot weeks for these guys.
Yeah.
At some point.
But let's segue over into the defense. I mean, obviously this defense, it's pretty good. One of the better ones like we highlighted. I mean,
what do you mean it's pretty good? It's phenomenal. They have one of the best front sevens and one of the best
Whoa. I mean, I can't like give them too much love.
I mean, they were the second best team. They were second best team against the run last year.
No, I know, and obviously they went out and got Jalen Ramsey
to pair with Xavier
Their
Howard.
front
Who had a down year
good.
last year. He had a down year last year.
Their front seven's good. They went out and got David Long too.
They did get David Long.
Bradley Chubb, they got at the deadline, who's one of the better edge rushers in the league. I mean, Xavier Howard obviously is getting older, but he's still proven he's one of the better cornerbacks. They go out and get Eli Apple, a guy who I think you know a lot about.
I hate that guy.
Of course you do.
He's got such a loud mouth.
Javon Holland out of Oregon. I know college ball.
This guy knows ball.
He was honestly a steal. I mean, I remember him.
He's very good.
I remember him. He was one of those guys that was supposed to be a late first rounder, but because he was a safety, he kind of fell in the position. So, but he's honestly become one of the leaders in that secondary. And obviously their front. I mean, Christian Wilkins doing his backflips and stuff. I mean, he's
Christian
pretty
Wilkins.
good. And Phillips is good as well.
22.1% of Wilkins' run defense snaps were tackle, which was the highest rate for defensive linemen by a wide margin.
Yeah, I mean, that's
20 run stuffs, 5th best in the league, 9th in tackles that produced a positive play for the defense. So he's not as good as his buddy Dexter Lawrence. They got drafted together, but he's phenomenal. You mentioned Bradley Chubb. Him and Jalen Phillips combined as the elite edge tandem duo. I have Jalen Phillips taking a big step this year. There was a 40% pressure rate last year when rushing 4 players when those two were on the edge, Chubb and Phillips, and that's phenomenal. Chubb had 8 sacks, Phillips had 7. That's only going to go up this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's great. I still have Emmanuel Ogbah. I will say, Ramsey's out till December, but Xavier Howard took a step back last year.
Yeah.
He was 67th in expected points added allowed per coverage snap, so you'd like that to go up.
And speaking about this defense,
he's got to be better.
Who's your depoy of this defense, speaking of the defense?
I actually took Jalen Phillips. I think he's going to
Phillips.
take a big step, and I think he's going to be a double-digit sack guy.
Yeah.
You want to say Ramsey, but he's out for a while.
Yeah.
Howard just wasn't great last year. You can go Chubb as well. I mean,
I said Chubb.
I would have two
either
edge rushers I'm fine with. Yeah.
And then who's your MVP?
I got Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
mine's I don't know. I was going back and forth, but I'm leaning to it just because it's like an X Factor MVP thing where it's like the team goes as far as he does.
I think Tyreek Hill, if Tua's healthy, can push 2,000 receiving yards.
I agree with that. I hope so. I got him in Dynasty, so we'll see. So,
yeah.
I mean, anything else you really want to talk about with this team?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, cool. Oh, well, who's your big rookie?
Devon Achane.
Yeah,
They don't really have a class. They forfeited their first round pick because tampering with Tom Brady. So
cool. All right. Well, let's move on then. All right, guys. So a lot of you have been asking, hey, where's that music coming from that you have in the show? That's from Danny House. You can check him out on Instagram at Daniel House. He makes a lot of different beats, and he's made multiple beats for us. The one you hear in the intro and the outro, and in the division breakdown, as well as the new music I put in for the golf video. So if any of you want to listen to more or get some beats from him for something you want to do, hit him up, and that's Danny House. Thanks.
welcome back in. Now we got the New England Patriots. Shout out to Paul. He's been begging to hear this segment for quite a while until he hears what we have to say about the Patriots. I have them at 7-10, last in the division. They're over under set at 7.5, but I will say it's tough to be as bad as they were last year. Bill will always keep his team competitive, so if they won 9 games, I wouldn't be shocked. But
don't worry, Paul. I'll give you some hope. I have them winning 8 games. I mean, hey, bet on their win total, I guess. That would be a good season, right?
Well, let's just start off with saying, I know this is what every Patriots fan says, and it's completely factually accurate.
They're like Yankee fans. They never shut up. It's like, we got 6 rings. It's like, nice. You got 6 Super Bowls, okay?
Yeah, says a guy who's never seen one. Don't worry, Pats fans, I hear you.
Oh, you hear them? How the hell do you hear them? You don't have 6.
Yeah, but I have 2, and we beat them twice.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
yeah, you're probably
the only people that complain about how when fan bases say, "Oh, how many rings do you have?" Our team are fans that
I think
have not seen any
I'm a
Super Bowls.
Yankee fan, and I think I complain about it all the time. I think it's dumb to bring up World Series, especially when even if we have 27. I think it's dumb to bring it up when we've only seen 1 in our lifetime. So I've always been a proponent of that. So don't try to put me in that category.
Okay.
The only time I ever say it is when I'm messing around with people, but I think it's the stupidest argument ever.
But they have 6 in our lifetime, so
yeah,
you know,
okay.
that's a very valid argument.
But what I'm saying is when we talk about the Patriots this year, he's gonna be like, well, none of it matters because we have 6 rings anyway.
Well, yeah, that's a stupid. Yeah, that's
that's
stupid to use it that way. Matt Patricia sucks. Last year, calling the offense, which everyone knew was a bad idea. They were the 28th ranked offense, and his play calling was pathetic. Mac Jones thrived in play action, and Patricia just refused to call it.
I mean, there's the clip of him screaming at Mac Jones screaming about being allowed to air it out.
Yeah, Patricia was terrible, but it's not just that he was bad offensively. Like, the dude's just a bad coach. Like, in 2020, when he was the head coach of the Lions, he was running the defense. They were the worst ranked defense in the league. In 2019, 29th ranked defense. 2018, 23rd ranked defense. 2017, 27th ranked defense. Whatever this guy touches, it sucks. He's an awful coach. So thank God they got Bill O'Brien, because Bill O'Brien has shown that he can call an offense. He's done it in Alabama. He's done it in the league with Houston. That is huge for Mac Jones because the play calling will be better. You can finally, it's year 3 of Mac Jones. You got to be like, okay, is this our guy? Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure it'll work out going from one crappy NFL head coach to another one. Although I shouldn't say that. Bill O'Brien was not Matt Patricia.
No. He was a good coach. He was a bad GM. He was a bad GM.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'd imagine it would be an upgrade. I mean, he was good at Penn State, and Houston had some good offenses back in the day with Watson and Hopkins. So, but like you said, you can't be much worse. I mean, the Matt Patricia, Joe Judge combo, it's not exactly ideal.
Yeah.
It is funny, though, how a lot of these coaches, like Belichick gets them all jobs, and then they just rarely ever pan out. Like, I don't think are there any active coaches that are from the Belichick tree right now, like as head coaches?
Man, off the top of my
Because Flores isn't a head coach anymore, although he was good as a head coach.
Dayball.
All right. Still, that's like, and I honestly view Dayball as more of a McDermott guy anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Dayball bounced around. He was with Saban. He was with Belichick. He was with McDermott. So he really he was a tight end coach for the Pats.
I mean, obviously Josh McDaniels too. That's the obvious one, but I think
how much he sucks too.
I think he's going to be out too, and he's already on his second stint. I mean, a lot of these guys, they get jobs and they just suck. But anyway, enough about that. Let's actually get into the roster. I mean, Mac Jones right now.
He was not very good last year, but then again, he didn't have anyone to throw the ball to and had...
And really, he still doesn't have
Patricia.
anyone to throw the ball to.
Yeah,
they really didn't go out and get much. I mean, they got Juju.
But he has knee issues already.
And,
I mean, how that's going to
they got Mike Gesicki, so, I mean, that's a good move. I mean, I guess Jonnu Smith's gone now, so Mike Gesicki.
Smith's gone. Gesicki plays in the slot more so than any other tight end in the league. So.
Well, and honestly, looking at this roster right now, like, Devontae Parker, who I'll let you shit on in just a moment.
Yes. I've been
not
waiting
ideal.
For this all day.
Kendrick Bourne, not a great receiver. Juju has had success, but he's obviously injured at this point. Hunter Henry has been Mac Jones' favorite target. And
not worth the money they paid him, though.
No, but he was good in the red zone that one year. The one year he had double-digit touchdowns his first year there. Him and Mac had a good connection. But still, Mike Gesicki, for fantasy purposes, has a great pathway to be the number one option for the Patriots, and I think he's a sneaky pick in late in drafts or to go undrafted. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are taking him, but if what you're saying is true, they're going to use him in the slot. I mean, he's not a great blocking tight end, but
I don't mind that just for like pure volume
and taking the shot
reasons, and like they need guys to get targets. But I just don't think Gesicki's like that good of a player. I don't think he's a clean route runner. Mm-hmm. He's got a big frame, but okay. Can I shit on?
Fine. Let Parker hear it.
Devontae Parker is the worst wide receiver at creating separation in the league, and it's not even close. And he's been last in the league in separation created the last 3 seasons. In the year before that, he was third to last. And this is out of 122 wide receivers last year. 127 wide receivers in 2021. 132 wide receivers in 2020. Every year, last in separation. What do you not want to have with a young quarterback that you're trying to develop is him throwing into tight windows, having turnovers that hurt his confidence and hurt the team when you're clearly not scoring a ton of points anyways. So what do? You give a receiver an extension, $33 million extension that gets no separation, so your quarterback's still throwing tight windows. I don't get it.
Yeah, I would have rather seen them.
Dude, he targeted
Myers. I mean, granted, Myers is a slot wide receiver, but
Myers got paid
I'd rather have
a
seen
year,
him,
but
him get that money than
Myers
Parker.
was pretty good. He led the team in targets with 96, 804 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Mac targeted Parker 34 times last season. 4 of them were interceptions. 4 out of 34. That is an awful percentage. It's the highest in the league.
I mean, I don't even.
So let's extend this guy. Right? Let's give this guy $33 million.
Yeah, it's like
it doesn't make sense.
12% of the time, a little less than 12% of the time.
Quick math. That's Montclair State math, baby. Let's go.
Well, can't all be called the human calculator. So
they also have the most difficult schedule in the league this year, 3rd toughest schedule of opposing defenses. So even though I do think they get better offensively, you can't get much worse. I still have my doubts about the offensive line. It was the worst offensive line in terms of run blocking last year, according to ESPN's run block win rate.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Mac long term. I don't believe in the weapons. Yeah, Bill O'Brien's an upgrade, but this team will still struggle, in my opinion.
Well, we haven't even talked about the running back room. Probably the strong point of this team. I mean, Ramondre last year was a beast for fantasy.
I like Ramondre. 3.8 yards after contact last year, 2nd best in the league.
And he's pretty good pass catcher, too.
Pass catcher. I think in targets, he's only behind McCaffrey and Eckler.
Yeah, no, he was great for fantasy, and I think he's going to be good, too. And I mean, from an NFL perspective, the Zeke signing I think is good. I was pissed.
Yeah, it's a good compliment. I mean, it's a good compliment.
When you got a young quarterback out there, and you've already highlighted like their offensive line struggled and is not a great unit. I mean, to get probably, in my opinion, the best pass blocking running back in the league, that's going to be good. And Zeke's also not a bad pass catcher either. So
yeah, that's a good fit. It's a good fit, I will say.
It's a great fit, and I think they'll complement each other. I think this team's going to want to run the ball. So I think both guys are kind of a value of where they're going for fantasy, because Ramondre's stock has kind of been going down with the Zeke signing, but I still think they're both going to be viable options for fantasy. And Zeke, maybe like a flex too, but I'd take him at where his ADP is right now too, because if one of them goes down, I mean, there's nobody else there. So
yeah, I will say I think Ramondre still gets a ton of touches though.
Yeah. I would say it's like it's like a 66-33 split.
I'd still project.
But I think both of them you got to draft. And I mean, if I'm someone who goes out and gets Ramondre, I'd be looking to get Zeke, because if Ramondre goes down, I mean,
if I'm getting Ramondre in the 4th round, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, obviously, yeah, because I can't imagine.
That's why I got him in my one league.
And plus, Zeke's had knee injuries, so there's nothing saying that it's not going to flame up again. Although he rarely misses time. That's one thing he hasn't missed a lot of. He's very durable. But
definitely like
anything else you want to highlight on the offense? I mean,
I just want to just a couple more Ramondre stats. Had 5 yards per carry, which was 6th in the league amongst backs with 100 carries. 14% of his carries had 10 or more yards, 6th best in the league, so he's got that explosiveness as well. 3.81 yards after contact per carry, 2nd best in the league, and this is despite having the worst run-blocking offensive line in football, according to ESPN. Very good. You like that. Hopefully the offensive line improves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It should. They have some young guys on there.
Cole Strange, I'm sure they're open pans out. I mean, they reached on him.
They always reach. They always reach to take guys that kind of fit what Belichick wants to do, which, I mean, the guys you give him the benefit of the doubt because, you know, he's won Super Bowls, but, you know, a lot of people question his drafting.
And I think with that being said, this is a great way to segue into their defense, a spot where they landed Christian Gonzalez in the draft this year, a guy who they didn't reach on and actually fell into their lap.
Actually, they took the value
out of Oregon,
and they moved back and still got him.
Yeah, and a lot of people were projecting him to be the number 1 corner out there.
Yeah, his over-under in the draft, I remember, was at 7.5, and I liked him to get picked in the first 7 picks. I thought Seattle could have picked him. I thought Detroit could have picked. I thought Seattle and Detroit could both go corner, and then Detroit traded back from 6, and then they ended up passing on Gonzalez again at 12.
Yeah,
very interesting. But Gonzalez.
I was kind of mad, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, because I wanted the Jets to take him. I'm not gonna lie.
The Jets already have the elite cornerback tandem though. But
I think the rich can get richer, you know, and best player available thing. And
but he's not really built to play in the slot. And what are you gonna play? I mean, you're kind of loaded at that position, you know.
Yeah.
It's just tough, but yeah, Gonzalez he's very good at man coverage. He's a very good athlete. He's fast. I believe he's 6'2". Transferred from Colorado to Oregon. I know ball.
Yeah, and another guy that like that 6'2" frame. I mean, that's another guy that we talked about where we like these corners and we project them to do well in the league. I mean, we've kind of seen it last year where it's a new trend where these bigger corners have a lot of success. I mean, it's new age.
It was a great pick.
But also, I mean, obviously, my depoy, the leader of that defense, Matthew Judon. I mean,
I have him as well. I mean, it's hard to not pick him. He had 15.5 sacks last year, 4th in the league with 28 quarterback hits, had 8 run stuffs. He was elite. They gave him a pay raise this year.
Yeah, granted. I mean, warranted. I mean, 15.5 sacks. You deserve it.
That's unreal.
So, and then, I mean, Lawrence guy, more of a run-stopping guy, but, and then Wise.
He had 7.5 sacks last year.
Yeah, and I mean, that could be the Judon effect, too.
Yeah,
but I mean, this defense is
Christian Barmore out of Alabama. They took last year as a rookie.
You'd hope
he was
he
pretty
takes
good,
a big,
especially against the run. He was good.
And you'd hope he'd continue to improve and take a bigger step. And then Kyle Duggar, another guy they drafted just 2 years ago. I didn't even realize now looking at it.
He went to a small school.
They got your boy
Jabril 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 2 years. 2020. So 2 years.
3 years ago. Quick math. MSU education.
Yeah. Well, who beats you in football every year? So shut up.
Not Montclair State.
Oh yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Now that I'm gone, cheering them on.
Problem is, they lost Devin McCourty in the back end, who would play that deep safety role for them. Like, yeah, he was old and, you know, past his prime, but he was still very smart on the back end. He was a captain of that defense. So it's going to be weird to see who's going to take that role. Probably Jalen Mills, because Duggar, you talked about him, and Peppers, they're both better in the box.
Yeah.
They're both better playing against the run rather than covering.
Peppers
he signed there last year.
It'll be interesting to see how he uses them in year 2, though, in the system. I mean,
I love Jabril Peppers.
He's one of those guys that's kind of a chess piece, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then Marcus Jones, I'm not a big fan of the guy. Obviously, he beat my Jets last year returning the punt, but he was one of those guys that they were using on offense.
He's a return specialist. He's one of the best in the draft in recent memory, and the Patriots love drafting special teams guys because no one values.
But they were using him at wide
teams.
receiver too. I mean, the guy's kind of a chess piece on both sides of the ball.
No one values special teams more than Bill Belichick. That's a fact.
I mean, there's a reason why Matthew Slater, I was looking, he's like the 5th oldest player in the league at this point. Guys doesn't have like any wear and tear on his body. I mean, he's on the depth chart as a wide receiver, but he's literally just paid to be their gunner. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they took another kicker this year. It's the 4th time Belichick has drafted a kicker. He took Gostkowski, which was a home run, but everyone else has whiffed and didn't even play a game for the Patriots. So
yeah, well, we'll see how Chad Ryland does.
Special teamers.
Yeah, and it looks like and their holder too. Holder and PT. Is that what they call punter? All right, I guess their punter's also a rookie this year too.
Interesting.
I've never heard punter as PT.
Did
you know that?
Yeah, no.
I don't know why it's in here as PT, but okay. Because PK is obviously a place kicker, but what does the T stand for? I don't know, but anyway, they have so that both of their guys are PT.
Yeah, punter.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess I'm just an idiot and didn't know the abbreviation for punter is PT. I just figured it'd be as like P, but
kind of going back into the defense a little bit, they drafted Keon White in the second round out of Georgia Tech. He's already 24 years old. Good, one of those guys that freak athlete, but never really has the sack numbers, production in college. You hope you can untap that.
yeah.
Could help their front. You know, they got a lot of young guys in there. Josh Uche had 14 quarterback hits last year, which is not very good, but he turned 11 and a half of them into sacks, which is very good. It's just kind of an unsustainable rate. Like you said, it's a good defense. You know, it's nothing special, but Belichick is one of the best in the league, probably the best all time, calling the defense. So they're going to be good. They were fourth in pressure rate last season. I don't see them really taking a step back defensively. Just maybe their competition goes up. They have the hardest strength of schedule in the league, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough road for the Pats, in my opinion.
So, for me, Max Jones is my X factor. I just want to kind of highlight, like we've been doing with all these different players. I mean, he's my X factor. Can he take that next step? I think I don't know if he will or won't, but I mean, he's got to be the X factor of the team. It's pretty obvious that if he can take the next step, I mean, this team could be a playoff team. We know the defense is talented, but
Yeah, and you have phenomenal coaching. I mean, it's my X factor is Mac as well, because I mean,
shocker, two smart
he was getting booed last year, and they benched him in favor of Bailey Zappi, who they
Who's
ended up
cut.
releasing, and
Yeah.
then they brought in Matt Corral. It's just I don't know if Mac is gonna. Apparently, him and Belichick don't really get along very well. Apparently, Mac he looks a little whiny. I'm not a Mac fan myself, but he is certainly the X factor. I'm safe to say that. My MVP is Ramondre, because I think they're gonna feed him touches on offense, and I think they're struggling on talent on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
And they really need him to be effective to keep this offense moving like he was last year.
Yeah, I mean, my MVP, who I already talked about as my depoy, is Judon, just because he's the leader of the defense.
I have him as depoy. Yeah, he's a stud.
I have him as the MVP because I'm expecting another double-digit sack season, and for him to be the driving force. Because, I mean, even if Mac Jones is, like, slightly better than what we've seen, I mean,
Still
the
not
defense is
something
still
you want
the
to
strong.
invest in.
Yeah, and the defense is still the
long-term,
strong
that
point.
defense,
So
yeah.
if this
Yep.
team is to somehow sneak in the playoffs, it's behind the defense. It's not Mac Jones.
Yeah, just Mac's playing well enough,
Yeah.
like he did in 2021.
So and then who's you got having the biggest impact? Because obviously there's a lot of rookies on this team. A lot of them
Gonzalez.
late capital. but-
Gonzalez. He's going to start right away. He's their first round pick. He's going to have the biggest impact.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, look out for Chad Ryland from a fantasy perspective. The past couple of years in New England, their kickers have gotten a lot of opportunities because his offense, like we've highlighted, isn't great, but they can move the ball. Their defense causes a lot of
They did
gets
trade
a lot
away
of
their kicker
takeaways.
to Tennessee.
Nick
correct?
Folk, who was their kicker, has been one of the better fantasy kickers the past couple of years because there's a lot of opportunities there. So look out for him. I mean, I'm not saying draft him because, I mean, I guess you could in the last round because you got to fill the spot, but I think he could have a sneaky good season for fantasy as a kicker just because I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities there. So
We love finding diamonds in the rough.
and
kickers.
I'm saying he's going to have the biggest impact because I think he's going to be like one of the top kickers in the league this year just because he's going to have so many opportunities.
Wow, that's
And
bold.
it's more so a knock on this offense than it is hyping him up because I just feel like this offense is going to stall out because they don't really have.
I think
Like we've already highlighted, they don't really
have.
have a lot of guys that can like win one-on-ones and go get you a touchdown in the red zone. I mean, Zeke's good from a couple yards out to smash one in. I mean, Ramondre's obviously a beast, but like their wide receiver core, there's not a lot of guys that you're like, oh, that guy's gonna win one-on-one and go.
No, they have no true number
So-
one. They probably want to have one of the weaker wide receiver cores in the entire league.
Yeah.
But their biggest addition, like I said, is Bill O'Brien over Matt Patricia. That's going to be the biggest difference for them. And for Ramondre was so good last year in that offense, I think with Bill O'Brien, he could be even better.
Yeah. Well, that's all I really got to talk about the Patriots.
Yeah, me as well. Sorry,
So-
Paul, but we're not super high on your Pats. I know you waited over a month to hear that, but
Yeah.
your offense sucks.
Yeah, Paul, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. But with that being said, we'll be right back with my Jets, who I'm super excited to talk about. All right, guys. I am super excited to talk about my Jets. I don't
Last
know
but
about
not
you.
least, the Jets.
Yes, our
Last
last
one.
team. I mean, as the leader of this
Wow.
podcast, I said, hey,
Whoa.
with doing this segment,
Let's have the fans.
with doing the divisions, I said, as the leader, we're going to do my team dead last at all the teams to finish out the
It
season.
kind of worked out that way because they, finished.
Yeah.
last year.
Oh, I'm sure it worked out that way. It wasn't me thinking, planning ahead. I'm always one step ahead. That's why I'm up, 5-3 in trivia?
I'm sure.
6-3.
I'm sure.
Spoiler alert, 6-3.
I'm sure you're excited you have a quarterback finally. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, it's been I hope we have a quarterback. I mean, I haven't seen him play a snap yet, but
the last quarterback you had with a winning record was Mark Sanchez.
yeah, well, I mean, the last
12-year playoff drought. They've had the worst offense
No,
in
wait.
the league over the past
Wait,
decade.
that can't be. I mean, Fitzpatrick had a losing record as a Jets starter?
It might be like through a full season.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because the one year that
we almost made the playoffs.
Yeah, because he went 10-6. I mean, I could be wrong still. It could be Sanchez. I thought Fitzpatrick had a winning record, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's been a long time. Like 2015 is the last time we've had a winning season, and that was when we went 10-6 and still missed the playoffs because of the old format, which sucks, but it doesn't matter. So it's been since 2010 when I was a little guy. Got to watch them lose to the Ben Roethlisberger Steelers and the Peyton Manning Colts. So that sucked, but I'm happy to have the feeling
back. Is that when
back. You cried? Yeah. I mean, when your team sucks like this, there's not a lot of crying, not a lot of letdown when you're coming into the season.
You almost start to feel like nothing,
You're just numb to the pain.
You feel numb to the pain.
Yeah, it's going to suck this year.
So
I'm going to be like, if they end up choking towards the end of the year, I'm going to be like, I haven't experienced these emotions before. Like, what's going on?
Wow, it looks like you're starting to get choked up a little bit right now. Thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about little me crying over Mark Sanchez.
The good news for Jets fans, and honestly for all of us, is we don't have to watch Zach Wilson play this year, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, the only way we see him is Week 18 when we're resting the starters.
Yeah, that's crazy. Lowest completion percentage in the league in both 2021 and 2022. Yeah. He also held the ball at the highest rate in the league. So
that's shocking. I would have thought it was Justin Fields. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I did too. But Wilson held the ball longer than Fields. Because Fields at least would make a decision and he'd at least go and run. Wilson just standing around there and then he just throws a pick or takes a sack. His decision making's poor. His processing skills are poor. He can't read a defense.
It's definitely these are definitely good stats. I mean, I didn't really need to know all these to know he sucked, but I mean, it's definitely like the more you throw at me, I mean, I'm not going to be shocked. It's just going to be like, yeah, I know he sucks. But I do think bringing in Rodgers is not only good, obviously, for short term and putting a winning team out there, but I think it actually gives Zach Wilson a chance to potentially pan out for us. I don't know how it'll work out, but I mean, it definitely. Watching him in the preseason, it's given me some confidence.
It's good. Yeah, we talked about it after the Hard Knocks episode. I made
He's looked really well in the preseason.
It's good. It humbles him a bit, and he gets to learn from someone. He doesn't have to feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. So it could be a good thing for him.
I mean, he didn't turn the ball over once in preseason. Granted, it's preseason, I know, but I mean, still, what do you want him to do? You can't knock on him if he plays bad, and then if he plays well, it's like, all right, it's preseason. I mean, he went out there and
that's what they
played
do for
well.
Everyone. So it's not like Wilson has a different standard in that regard.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm happy he looked good.
Yeah, he did look good. Now I think if now he sit the bench for 4 months.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it definitely. I'm already seeing improvement. Is my point. But enough about the backup
I don't like his attitude either. Because Wilson last year when the defense balled out and they're like, "Hey, do you guys feel like?"
I think it's good.
You let the defense down, and it shows I saw videos clips of Josh Allen taking full responsibility, and other Mahomes took responsibility for a lot, elite quarterbacks. Then it goes to Wilson. He goes, no.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy.
Well, not all the elite. Not all the elite quarterbacks can be the same.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, but enough about our backup quarterback. Let's get into the actual team that's going to be on the field this year.
I have them at 9-8, by the way. I want to throw that in there. No. Sorry, 10-7.
I was going to say I was.
Yeah. No. I had the Dolphins.
Whoa, doggy! I have them at 13-4.
Dolphins 9-8. Jets at 10-7.
Okay, so
I had the Jets out of curiosity, the last playoff team.
Out of curiosity, and I know I've been beating the drum on this. So 10-7 is what? Your biased or unbiased opinion?
Unbiased.
Okay.
I have no biased opinions.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
They're all unbiased.
Okay.
Is 13-4 your biased opinion?
Yeah, is that your biased opinion?
Unbiased, biased. I mean, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I mean,
13 wins.
It's hard to put your fandom aside. I mean, if anyone was in my shoes, it's not exactly the easiest to put your fandom aside. And then having Hard Knocks definitely doesn't help either when you're watching a team and probably 80% to 90% of the footage is all the good. And they sprinkle in a little bit of the bad, and it's like, oh, I guess we're a lot better than I thought. But there's definitely some positives. I mean, we got Garrett Wilson's obviously won the Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah, 1,100 yards. I actually have some cool Wilson stats.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I mean, freaking with the quarterback play and the numbers he put up, I'm sure you come up with some cool stats. And then obviously we went out and got Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Mecole Hardman. So we did address a big need for us.
They have depth.
I'm still not happy with. I'd love them to get one more guy.
Yeah, another guy would be nice. I mean,
because now that we lost Corey Davis, but
yeah, Garrett Wilson had the most targets of any rookie wide receiver the last 15 years. Only caught 57% of them because Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco were second and third worst in the league in accuracy.
Out of curiosity, do you have catchable? Is there a catchable balls number there or no?
No, I don't have that. Okay. But it was
I'd like to see that just because
I'm pretty sure it was close to 20% of his targets were deemed inaccurate,
and that's what I assumed.
So it was He got a shit ton of targets, still at 1,100 yards, but there's so much more there.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that this year.
And it's not on him, it's purely quarterback play. He's a beast. He's phenomenal.
Obviously with Lazard, who I want to highlight more, I mean, I was happy with the signing because we really didn't have that big body wide receiver.
He had his best season last year.
And he's also, like, a very good blocker. Like, I think that opens up a lot in the screen game.
Yeah, he's not the best route runner in the world, but he makes contested catches and he blocks.
We needed a big body guy, and he's a guy that can go out there and block. I mean, Ted's going to set up more plays for Garrett Wilson. Our line, though, you've highlighted it. I know it. It's scary.
It's their biggest red flag right now, which is never good.
I think it is impossible to not have red flags, but this is by far.
But it's an alarming one because Rodgers is getting up there in age, and you don't want an old quarterback taking shots. I mean, last year
Trust me, I'm not happy.
Rodgers clearly took a step back from his back-to-back MVP seasons. He wasn't up to his standards last year. Granted, a lot of new receivers. He didn't really trust them, but he played behind an offensive line that only allowed a 26.2% pressure rate. The Jets' O-line last year nearly 10% higher at 35.9%.
Well, yeah. And when you go and pay a guy like Langston Tomlinson, who ends up being a complete waste of a signing.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, your left tackle's 38 years old.
ABT going down does skew those numbers because I'm sure the numbers
ABT's a stud.
If you go like pre and post ABT injury, the numbers are probably alarmingly bad because I mean the dude played 3 different positions last year for us. I mean, there's not many guards out there that you can just slide over to tackle. I mean, that's why he's one of the elite guys, and I think if he stays healthy this year, he can prove he's an all-pro level guard. I think you can agree with that.
ABT's very good. He's like the one guy that I don't really have any issues with on the line. Like, I'm comfortable, I'm confident, right?
But if that's
one out of 5 spots, it's a problem.
Becton's like automatically my X factor.
You actually think he's going to stay healthy?
Well, that's why he's my X factor. I just want to segue right into that because, I mean, obviously he's a guy that, like, I thought was completely toast. Like, I didn't think we were ever going to see him on the field again. So the fact that he's been able to work his way back into shape and play well enough to earn a starting rollback.
He's played 1 game in 2 years.
I know. So that's why he's my X factor because the fact that he was even able to come back from that, because, I mean, for him, he's just a big motherfucker. Like, he's a big dude.
6'8"?
He's my X factor. I mean, if he can play to somewhat of what we saw his rookie year, because he showed a lot of flashes. Like, after the rookie year, I was like, damn, like, I'm so happy we picked him. And then after that, it was like, what the fuck? But that's why he's my X factor.
I had the entire offensive line as my X factor, so like
and that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Same type of point, man. Because we saw last year. I mean, granted, you drafted Joe Tippmann in the 2nd round this year. Kind of disappointing. He didn't win the starting job.
No, I know. I was not happy with that.
If you take a center in the 2nd, you're hoping he's gonna.
I
take the bull by the horns for the starting job.
And we took him before you took your guy,
John Michael Schmitz. And Schmitz is starting, and a lot of people had Schmitz as the highest ranked center. A lot of the draft pundits. So. The Jets take a guy like Tippmann that you think you're going to start right away, and he doesn't win the job. So that's not great, but at least he gives you some depth on the interior if one of those guys goes down.
With how bad Tomlinson was last year, he might be moving to left guard anyway.
Yeah, the O-line's bad.
I do think with Rodgers restructuring and Corey Davis retiring, I think we're going to make another move for the line midseason. I'm really hoping for Bakhtiari.
You need something, bro. You need a left tackle. If you get Bakhtiari, it completely changes the ceiling of this team. Like, I mean, the ceiling is still Super Bowl, but it enhances your ability so much because we talked about Bakhtiari in that division. I had him as the X factor for the Packers because in 11 games he didn't allow a single pressure. He was dominant. While left tackles for the Jets last year allowed a pressure rate on 7% of dropbacks. 29th in the league.
Although I will say Max Mitchell showed some flashes last year. He was a rookie, 4th-round pick. But then he got injured.
But I will say, I don't love your draft class.
We didn't really have a big draft class. I'm not going to lie.
But they're in win-now mode, but they took a lot of guys.
Well, I get the Will McDonald signing. I do get that draft pick.
I'd rather take Broderick Jones out of Georgia, start left tackle, than McDonald.
We didn't pass up on Broderick Jones,
McDonald's
in fairness.
24. Well, you got jumped by 1.
I know. I agree. I would rather have them traded up and gotten the lineman. I agree.
Broderick Jones.
We didn't take Will McDonald over him, but still, I didn't hate. At the time, I didn't like it, but the more and more I think about it, it's one of those things where the rich get richer. The defensive line is our strong suit. One of the biggest reasons it is our strong suit.
Secondary is.
Yeah, we're getting on a little tangent, so let's get back into the offense. Let's highlight the running back room before we. Obviously, we went out and got Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall's probably going to be.
I got some good
limited
Breece Hall stats for you.
He's going to be limited to start the year, and I mean a lot of those stats. Like, I'm still nervous. Like, I don't know what he'll look like this year because I mean.
It's tough. Usually it takes guys 2 years to be fully back or even better from the ACL. It's tough after that year.
I think the best thing he's got going is youth because he's only 21, so youth is a big factor there. But,
He was
Still.
very good last year, though. He was first in yards per carry, second in success rate, first in explosive rush rate, third in expected points added per rush when facing a light box last year.
Yeah.
Granted, they would load the box on him a lot because of Zach Wilson being terrible, but with Aaron Rodgers there and you're spreading it out more, you got to assume you're facing more light boxes, which is good. And he had 5.8 yards per carry and 6.9 yards per touch before he got hurt with the ACL. He was really starting to hit his stride. He was very good.
He had that in that Denver game where he got hurt. He had a 70-yard touchdown run, and then a couple drives later, he was done for the year.
However, Michael Carter sucks. I think Max used to say to me, Michael Carter's good. No, he's terrible.
I mean,
he was dead last in expected points added per rush, success rate, and rate of runs to gain 10-plus yards amongst 42 backs.
You're a better guy than me. I wouldn't even highlighted him on this segment.
I'm just saying, I saw it, and I know Jets fans have said to me they think Michael Carter's good, and I just wanted to put him back in the place.
He was okay after his rookie year, and I mean, the only reason he was okay was because he had a good enough year that it was like, all right, like, going into year two, we could see some growth, and obviously he was a 4th-round pick, so it's like, this dude's a 4th-round pick, like, he's overperforming for his rookie year, but at this point, I only view him as like a pass-catching specialist. Like, I fully expect us to trade him at some point during the season. I think the only reason they're keeping him around is for depth. But
I thought it was interesting they kept him and not Bam Knight. I thought
I think that's more because of his skill set as a pass catcher. I think
a little bit something different.
I think it came down to like they liked Abikonda, Israel Abikonda, the guy from Pitt we got who had some flashes in preseason before he got hurt. But I think it was more that they liked him more over Zonovan, and they wanted to keep Michael Carter for his pass catching ability. But
I will say that they get off to a tough start, man. They have the hardest schedule in the first 6 weeks of the season, 7th most difficult schedule overall, and they play the hardest schedule of opposing offenses. But they also played the hardest schedule of opposing offenses last season, and the defense was still elite. Even though they played 5 backup quarterbacks, the defense was still elite with a very tough schedule. So it's. I mean, they're going to be a top 10 defense, bare minimum, again this year, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and I think just alone like having a competent offense will
so
help.
many good things about the Jets, dude.
Dude, it's hard to not say them. I mean,
I think they get off to a slow start, but if they do, like, and you're a Jets fan, don't be alarmed because there's a point in the middle of their schedule, kind of around like week 7 through 11 or something.
Yeah, because we play you guys week 8.
Yeah, they play Giants week 8. They have a bye week 7. They go on like a 5-week stretch where they don't have to leave New York, New Jersey.
Yeah,
because they have three of the 4 games are home, and the one away game is the Giants, and they have a bye in there.
Yeah,
and they actually, the schedule makers, really set them up down the stretch because they start off right away in a lot of primetime tough games, and if they start 2-4, like don't be pressing the panic buttons because schedule eases up. And this is what, and it's sound weird, but I was so tough between the Jets and Dolphins. A little scheduling quirk that had me flip was they set up the Jets so good down the stretch where they play so many teams that have to play on Monday night, and then so the Jets constantly have another day of rest and another day to prepare for the team.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it adds up. It adds up through time, and especially division games late in the season. They get Miami after Miami plays a Monday night. And they think they get a game against Buffalo as well, where they have more rest, which could be beneficial.
Yeah, but let's highlight their defense real quick. I mean, one of these units I think will be even more improved from last year. Obviously, our D-line's stacked.
Quinn Williams is a beast, bro.
Yeah, got paid, so that's good. I mean,
All-Pro.
Warranted, yep, All-Pro.
12 sacks.
Yep, him and Chris Jones, first-team All-Pros. But, I mean, I can only imagine getting even better. I mean, he got paid, but we also added to it. I mean, we went out and we took Will McDonald. I mean, Jermaine Johnson, who we took last year in the first round, showed a lot of flashes.
He was supposed to go a lot higher than the Jets took him when he was sliding.
And the only reason Jermaine Johnson really didn't have better numbers last year is because he's rotating in. Like, I think his numbers are going to improve significantly.
He didn't play that much.
Year.
He had 2.5 sacks. Didn't play that much.
Yeah, he's already been. They've been saying he's been dominating camp already. I mean, I could easily see him taking the spot from Carl Lawson or John Franklin Myers.
Myers had 5 sacks, 51 pressures. He's better against the run, but I think this is the last year of his deal, right?
I believe so, yeah. But Carl Lawson,
I know as a fact it's his last year.
Well,
his
the
deal.
whole Carl Lawson thing that sucks
sacks.
is he when he got hurt, we signed him, and then he got hurt, and his biggest thing was he was one of the guys who had one of the highest pressure rates when we signed him.
Yeah.
And he hasn't lived up to that contract, but granted, when you get
he had 49 pressures, but only 7 sacks last year. So
which still isn't bad, but I mean,
it's not bad.
We're paying him, it's not worth it. But at the same time, it's like when a guy tears his ACL, it's hard to be like, oh, he's not what he was. Well, yeah, he tore his ACL and he's up there in age. So
I thought it was Achilles.
Was it Achilles?
thought it was.
It may have been Achilles.
Either
way.
We talked about Will McDonald a little bit earlier. He was 23 years old last year as a senior, and he was 16th in the Big 12 in pressure percentage on the edge. So like,
well, when he got drafted, they said he was one of the most bendable DNs or whatever.
Yeah, it's just not ideal. Don't get me wrong. I like the draft strategy of building through the trenches, but I just think for such a win now team, like you take McDonald, who's not going to start right away in the first round. You took Tippmann in the second round, who's also not going to start. Like win now team, you almost feel
Tippmann was a good. Or I mean, I'm happy they took Tippmann there. I just wish he panned out. And I mean, he still has time, but I mean, like that center was definitely a big need for us.
Because you could have gotten starters amongst the line or on your team when you're a winning.
It would have been nice if
you went all in for Rodgers.
It would have been nice if Tippmann won the job and then that we had got the tackle.
Just
a strange,
it's a strange class. It's it's more developmental.
I can't really say crap. I can't really give him any crap yet because A, the season hasn't started, but B, after last year's draft, you can't really say shit about Joe Douglas's draft.
Well, last year he got starters and plugged him in right away. Now,
but I mean, they won. He had the best offensive player and the best defensive player in his draft.
No, absolutely.
So I mean,
absolutely.
You can't crap on the guy, but I agree. You would have liked to see holes that we had filled.
Yeah, but you waited to get. You should have got a left tackle, but you waited too long because all the tackles were gone, and the Steelers jumped you by one spot.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
I'm
a Jet fan. I know. I'm upset.
All right, back to the defense. C.J. Mosley, second team All-Pro last year, 158 tackles.
Finally living up to that contract.
PDs. Finally, dude. Yeah, because he got hurt early on in that contract as well.
No.
Right?
Oh, well, yeah, he got hurt, and then he opted out the next year.
He opted out
which pushed it back a year, which actually in the long run is panning out well.
Yeah.
So after last year, because I think this is either the last year or the second to last year of his deal. His contract's like almost done. But the way he played last year, like, I love the guy now. I mean, he's the leader of that defense.
Yeah, and Quincy Williams.
I mean, he was just announced the captain, so.
Quinnen's brother.
Yep.
He's back. He was solid last year. 16 run stuffs, was ninth best in the league amongst linebackers. You like that?
Yeah.
Sauce was the best corner in football last year.
Yeah, all
First in yards allowed per covered snap according to PFF. Defensive Rookie of the Year, first team All-Pro. DJ Reed, sixth in yards allowed per covered snap. That's why I said your secondary, your corner tandem is phenomenal. Michael Carter, not the bad running back, but the good corner. Is good, good in the slot.
Yeah, I mean, he's great in the nickel.
I will say your safety play could be concerning. No, you traded for Chuck Clark. He is out for the season. You brought in Adrian Amos, who I think has lost his prime. But
and he lost the job.
Yeah, who's starting?
Tony Adams, undrafted guy.
Oh, I mean, that just has a lot to say about Adrian Amos.
Yeah, I think it's more on Amos.
Jordan Whitehead wasn't great last year either.
No. And Ashton Davis, another guy who we drafted early, has not panned out either.
So, yeah, you'd like to see the safety play improve, but...
Yeah.
It's easier to hide that.
I was going to say, when you have no other holes on the defense, it's easy to hide it.
Yeah, you're great against the run, great pass rush, 2 elite corners, so you just have those safeties play too high, play over top, 1 high,
So who's your deep boy after going through all that?
Oh, come on, Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say Quinnen Williams, too, for argument's sake. Quinnen is also a beast. If you have a player like Quinnen Williams or like a Dexter Lawrence or a Chris Jones where you can have double-digit sacks from the interior of the
you're already in a great spot.
That is more valuable than a double-digit sack guy from the edge because they're harder to find. Yeah. They're more rare. And you're pushing the pocket right into the quarterback's face. So you could argue Quinnen Williams as well, but Sauce Gardner was the best corner in football last year. He's unbelievable, 6'3", fast as hell. He's just pure lockdown. Yeah. So I think it's
I actually think he could win DPOY of the league.
He could.
As crazy as that is.
He could. He could win Defensive Player of the Year. Usually it's edge rushers, but if you have a phenomenal season for a corner, we saw with Gilmore a few years ago, then it can be done.
Yeah, obviously the interception numbers have to go up. He only had 2 last year, and I fully expect it to go up because 2 is such a low number to beat, and I think the only way he could actually win DPOY is by getting like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then who's your team MVP?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Come on. If he goes down, this team's fucked because we saw Zach Wilson's terrible.
I know.
But he's the MVP, and he seems to be in a good mindset that everyone treats him like a celebrity there, it seems like. They're like, I can't believe that guy's our quarterback. A lot of pressure's on him.
He's the king of New York.
Rodgers loves it.
He's already the king of New York. The media's going nuts for him being there. They don't stop talking about him on ESPN.
I can't even watch.
It's crazy.
Up, dude. Mike Greenberg's like, it's time to get up. What is Aaron Rodgers doing today?
Aaron Judge was the king of New York, and he probably still is, but they have not stopped talking about him on TV. Go to Yankees game and
listen to him come out, I'm the king of New York.
You hear that? Jalen Brunson, king of New York. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Just wait.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Although I will say if the Jets don't pan out, Aaron Rodgers is going to go from the king of New York to to the number one criminal in New York real quickly. But
Yeah.
the way they're talking about him in the media is like, I'm loving it as a Jet fan because I can't turn on ESPN without them talking about.
I hate it, dude.
the
I
Jets,
can't watch
but
them. I can't watch.
I can imagine guys that aren't Jet fans.
Mike Greenberg is so.
Well, not even
boring.
Get Up. Like First Take, it's like every.
It is First Take.
Because like
First
Get Up,
Take
it's
they
like
talk
all
about the
right,
Cowboys
he's a
and
Jet
Jets
fan,
every
but
day
all they
too,
talk
yeah.
about is Jets and Cowboys.
Yeah, they do.
So
it's tough. We need the season to start already, boys. We're sick of this.
But yeah, so. Last thing, who is your biggest impact rookie? I mean, obviously,
Dude,
none of these
so
guys
tough,
are slated
like,
in the start. I mean,
you want to
for
go
me,
McDonald just because
I was going to say Tippmann because I think he's going to win over the job and as
or
the best.
Tippmann could end up getting a lot of time due to an injury.
Well, not even that. I don't like McGovern at all or Tomlinson, so I think either way he's going to take over the center role or he'll go to left guard. I think he's got a better chance, and I think McDonald, like, the only way he has a huge impact is injuries because there's just so many guys there. I mean, Michael Clemens is there too. Huff. I mean, we got so many guys.
Yeah, Franklin Myers, Lawson.
So, but yeah, I mean, is there anything else? Otherwise, I mean, I'm kind of good on my
I'm
Jets.
good. 10-7. I got the Jets in the playoffs. I'm not too happy about it, but
all you Jet fans, I'll see you guys in February at the parade.
What's up, guys? Thanks for submitting all those trivia questions for the division breakdowns. We really appreciated it. Now that that's over, going into the season, we'd still appreciate you guys to ask some question on the Google Forms. So keep filling that out each week. We'll let you know when we set it up. Thanks.
We are back. Final trivia of the preseason. Unfortunately, the deficit for me is too large to overcome. I'm down 5-3.
Yes, it is.
So, and Reagan has.
Why did that happen?
You know, the Jets here in his own division. So this is
I'm
an uphill battle.
I will say, I think our new trivia guy will be a little bit smarter than the guy that you had. I mean, Jake kind of did give you that win.
No, I just know my shit. My Giant shit, you know.
It does help when you get handpicked Giants questions.
Yeah, so.
But anyway, the best man won.
Trivia's still fun.
I
We're having a good
overcame
time.
the
If
hurdles.
I get more Jets questions than Reagan, though, we really have to question his fandom.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, what do we got?
We'll see.
This is for me also, because I keep winning.
Okay, who has the most interceptions in AFC East history?
Darrell Revis.
No. Not even close.
Oh! I know now.
That sucks, dude. I don't know.
Dude, can you please guess, though? Like, don't... At least take a guess.
Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is it Ty Law?
Yeah, it is Reagan.
Wow.
That doesn't count.
I know it doesn't count,
Good-
but I mean,
good
you could have at
guess.
least taken a guess, bro.
I'm actually surprised that you
I don't
got
know.
that on the side.
I jumped the gun on it. All right.
Okay, this is for...
Dude, I had no idea.
All right,
I'm
all
not
right.
going
I'm
to
not
sit here
trying
and
to be
waste
a-
our time. I had no idea.
All right, fine.
This question's for Max.
You work your strategy, I'll work mine, all right?
Well, how'd that work out for you, buddy?
Yeah, not so good so far.
All right.
This question is from Max. What Jets player punched Geno Smith in the locker room?
Oh, I know this.
Oh, fuck. Good thing I got this one and not
I know, I
Reagan.
didn't want to...
But he's going to get it regardless.
I know.
This is I love getting this guy on the grids for when I do the grids. It's like a 1% owned guy. He is,
Yeah.
but that's why it's sick. I'll go into the story
It's a
next.
DB, right?
No.
I guess you can't answer
I don't
No,
even
he's
know,
not
I
a
don't
DB.
even know who it is.
He's not a DB. He's a defensive player, though.
Dude, I don't fucking know,
It's
man.
IK and Polly.
Yeah.
I probably butchered the name, but
No, that was way better.
And
than
then,
I'm glad you got it. I didn't want
after that happens, the Jets cut him, and then Rex Ryan goes, picks him up for the Buffalo Bills, and then makes him the captain that week. That next time they play the Jets
Let's
Bills.
go. That's
Jets
tough.
Bills. He was
God,
the captain for the
it's
Bills.
an uphill battle, boys. How am
Why
I
did he
supposed to
punch
get
him?
that?
I don't even know. I honestly don't know. It was so long ago, but it was something dumb and he broke his jaw.
That's pretty
Just
sweet.
some like
That's messed up.
third stringer just
That's
going
fucked
nuts.
up. That's fucked up. All right.
Okay.
This one's for you. You're up 2-0. No,
No,
1-0.
no.
1-0, yeah, because you choked.
I did choke.
This is from G-Lo. Who did the Dolphins select in the first round of 2018 draft?
Wasn't that B Tua?
No, 2 was 2019 draft.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I feel like we.
You
It
guys
wasn't
definitely-
I feel like
wasn't-
there's a chance the guys.
You guys definitely know who it is.
It wasn't Jalen Phillips. Phillips was after Tua. They picked 6th that year, so they weren't very good.
Yeah, because Tannehill would have been the quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I
I do not
can't
know.
think of his offense or defense.
Well, this silence isn't great podcasting. So
Austin Jackson?
No.
Dude, I don't know.
he was from
He's
USC.
after.
I think
Yeah,
he was
from
like
USC.
2 years ago. So I mean, I don't even. It wasn't Phillips, was it?
No.
Oh,
Well,
Phillips
yeah.
after.
you guys are gonna be pissed. It's Mika Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking, that he
yeah.
wasn't on the team
I
anymore.
was trying to
'cause when we were
think, I
looking
was
at the
Well,
the
it
depth
was,
chart.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't. The question wasn't if he was on the team.
No, I know, but I was just saying I didn't
Wait,
think
was
the
that
guy
your question? I forgot. I'm sorry.
That was your
I
question.
answered it. No, that was
That was his.
that was your question. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
answered first. Like that was your question.
Wait, was it?
Did you?
Yeah, yeah, because you went then.
No,
Yeah.
my question was the other one.
No,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I missed on the who got punched in the face, and then you stole it,
And then
this was your
Yeah,
question.
but then doesn't it go to him? Oh,
yeah, that was his
alright,
question.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was your question.
All
so
right,
you're trying to cheat?
No, we both
No, I'm
whiffed.
fucking
So
with
it
you. All right,
doesn't
you're up.
matter.
Whatever. Question
Okay.
4, you're up. I'm up 1-0.
No, I'm just being an honest man.
Tyler Goodwin's question here.
Let's go.
Goody.
Who was
Shout
the
out
last
Ty.
1,000-yard rusher for the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, I know it. I already know it. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it does help when you're like in the division, so you like remember these things. I think you
He
could.
should know this.
I feel like honestly, this isn't as hard as you're thinking, but this is a good question.
Is it C.J. Spiller?
No, it's Frank Gore.
No, it's Shady McCoy.
Really, it wasn't Frank Gore. Wow, I thought he had 1,000 yard
Wow.
season with
I'm
him.
surprised you guys didn't get that.
I
That
thought
was
Frank
gonna
Gore
be an
did.
easy
He
one.
must have been in 800 or 900 yards.
I thought it was after McCoy for some reason.
I thought Frank Gore did it. Wow, I got too cocky there, but I'm up 1-0, so who cares?
Yeah, you are a cocky bastard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I talk
This
my
is
talk and I back
for
it
you
up.
again, right?
Yeah,
All right, which
question for it.
quarterback has the most career rushing yards in AFC East history?
Wow. I really hope it's not a Jet guy because I'll look like a casual. I'm gonna go out.
This is tough, man.
Oh man. I mean, I'm just gonna go off of like. All right, Tyrod Taylor.
I think it's an old guy. I do think it's an old guy.
I really hope it's not a Jet guy. 'cause
I don't think
gonna
it's someone
make me look bad.
recent. I'm gonna
I
go
just-
shot in the dark. Jim Kelly.
No, it's Josh Allen, guys.
Oh what?
Oh yeah, that's
He's
that's
got
like,
3,000.
I'm actually
already.
such an idiot though, because like obviously Tyrod
Tyrod
wasn't there for long.
Tyrod was there. For
You just
a
think
short
he's been in the
stint.
league for 5 years. You're like, he can't.
Yeah.
He already leads
Yeah,
the division all the time.
I wasn't crazy surprised when I looked that one up.
That I
but-
suck at
yeah, because the
trivia.
Patriots, all their guys.
I'm
have been
pathetic
pocket
at
passers.
trivia.
I know. I mean, I am too. I'm just slightly less pathetic. So, as long as you're right above the bare minimum.
What is this?
Alright.
Question six already?
Yeah,
And it's
good
1-0.
question. Yeah, you're up.
Oh wow.
What was the year the Miami Dolphins had their perfect season?
1971.
Oh.
No, 1970.
You already. Nope.
No.
You already got it. It was 1982.
It's 1972.
Oh my god!
That's
Well,
what I
you
knew
were
it was
real
right.
close.
That happened to me
I
last
thought you
time.
were
I know.
real-
I knew it was
I-
beginning of the 70s.
That's the second time that's happened to me because when we did the
Ah.
AFC North with the Bears, when was the last time we did the 13-3 season? I go
Fuck.
2016. It was 2006. I'm always off by
A
10
little
years.
dyslexic.
Always off by
I knew it
10
was
years.
early 70s, bro. That sucks.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
I'm getting shut out, but I'm right there. I'm like the
Come on,
Bills.
come
We're
on.
right there, but we're not getting it done.
Captain, shut over here. It's got nothing going on. All right, question number 7 for me.
What year and what round did Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill get drafted?
Well, he was a 5th round pick,
Yes.
and that was in 2015.
No, it's 16.
Yes, Colin.
Fuck. So I kind of I made the. Did you know it was the 5th round?
Yeah, I knew it was 5th
Yeah.
round.
Yeah, you give him a little bit
Yeah,
of
I
a
knew it was,
layup rating.
I knew it was
Yeah.
5th round.
Because then all you got to go is like 14 or 16. Because he's
Yeah.
obviously 29. Damn it, that's
All right.
trash.
Who is the leading rusher in Jets history?
Curtis Martin.
Yes, sir.
Oh come on!
You know
I got it. Yes, question
know
right
that's
over.
good.
Good. I mean, it doesn't look bad on me. I didn't get a chance. It's not like
You should
saw
be
it.
happy. You knew that, though.
Obviously, I knew that. That's the reason why 28's retired.
All right. Wow, we've had an uphill battle, and somehow there's no quitting us. Come
All
on,
right,
baby.
question number 9.
Who has the most interceptions in AFC East history?
Oh, that's a good one.
Wait, didn't we already do this?
No,
What was the one you did earlier?
it was rushing yards for quarterbacks or
Yeah, he did not do
interceptions, like the wide the defensive players catching them.
Yeah, that's what we did earlier. It was Tyler.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
Yeah,
who's
he's
thrown
saying
the
which
most.
quarterback has the most picks.
thrown the
Yeah.
most picks.
Can you just listen?
I missed the quarterback part.
No, I'm kidding, man. You gave me some more time to think. I mean, obviously, like, my mind goes to one guy right away just because of longevity. I'm going to go with Brady just because he's been there so long.
That's a good guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You just got to go with
a
the
good thought
longevity
process.
guess.
It's a good thought process, but, it's the fucking GOAT, so bad guess.
Disrespecting the GOAT.
I'm sure he's still, like, top 3.
You still got to think longevity.
Yeah, no, he
I think
was
it's a
top
good play.
3.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's 2 other guys.
I'm thinking Marino or Kelly.
Which one?
It's one. I think I'm going to guess wrong no matter what it is. I'm going to go Jim Kelly.
Oh, man.
It's Marino?
You fucked up, yeah.
Fucking
Marino.
shit.
And it was by a large margin.
That would have sealed it for me,
Actually, that makes
too.
sense because he was a gunslinger.
It was 252, and I think
Oh,
Brady
that was
was
actually-
like maybe the next closest with 170.
I mean, that makes sense if you think about it because of how many passing yards he had at, like, back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
whatever.
dude.
All right,
I
question 10.
could've sealed
If
it.
you get it wrong and I steal, we go to OT.
That's
if
a
you get it
fuck
right,
up.
it's over. You
That's
can
a
end
fuck
it. You
up.
can end it and make it more
Yeah,
respectable.
but I want to put up a crooked number, It would have been nice to put up a crooked number.
All right. What school did Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis play for?
Oh, I didn't know this.
I don't know college football, but I have one guess, and it's probably wrong.
Oh,
What, are you just going for like a chalky?
Yeah, kind of chalk. It's like semi-chalk.
Oh, no, dude, I know this too. I just saw it. I'm blanking.
I'm just gonna go with my gut, even though I think it's wrong, unless he steals it from me. Imagine he says it and it's wrong, and I have no idea.
No, it's... For some reason, I think it's in Florida. I don't know. UCF?
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. I was gonna say Florida State, so that makes
I
me
knew it
feel
was in
better.
Florida. That's
All
the
right.
dagger.
Damn, it's such a like.
I just whooped ass in
It's
your
such a, like-
division.
I was
I mean,
thinking about asking.
I got
that
all the
question.
Jets questions right.
I got Curtis
Actually, I didn't
Samuel
get
right.
asked any Jets
Yeah, I
questions.
didn't.
Right.
For
Now that we have a
reason.
normal trivia guy, it was like fair, but I mean, it's just an anticlimactic way to end trivia.
The
like-
question I was going to end it on was
I wish we
going to
had
be
another shot.
that one, or I was going to say name the 4 years the Bills lost the 4 straight Super Bowls.
Oh, it was
That's tough.
88 to 92.
No.
Wasn't it? It was 90s. It was like 93, 94, 95, and 96.
When they
No,
lost,
it
they
was
lost.
91 to
they lo-
94.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give you guys
Those
that
ones are
one,
kind of
that was-
lame.
that's
I don't really
tough.
care. I already won trivia anyway. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, you won 5-4, but
I
yeah,
won
at
5-4.
least I can go
We
out
went
with a win
conservative
and
this
feel
week.
a little bit better about myself. But that concludes the division breakdown series. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Crazy that we've already done with it. Then the next pod coming out will be a week 1 breakdown, our predictions
as-
for week 1 and our season-long projections, playoff teams, Super Bowl contenders, the bets that we have with each other. We're gonna have
Yeah.
punishments for those.
Yeah, we're
Outline
gonna
for
go
you
over
guys.
those. Yeah, so we're probably gonna put
Should
a
be a big
post on
one.
social media tonight or tomorrow about having you guys like drop some punishment ideas for our bets.
Yeah, we need some
We got a
punishment
lot.
ideas for
We
sure.
got a lot already. A few with punishments, but a lot that are looking for punishments. But also on top of that, I want to say this division breakdown has been a pleasure, sir.
Been a
You've done a
pleasure,
lot
sir.
of good
It's a
research.
lot of fun.
You've done a lot of good research,
Yeah.
but I think it's time.
65 pages of research I have.
Yeah, so now Colin can finally put his glasses away and loosen up for the podcast. It's
gonna be nice.
You're not going to
It's
get
gonna be
stat
nice,
nerd tongue.
you know?
You're going to get loosey-goosey tongue going forward,
Yeah. Well,
So-
I still loosey-goosey, Tom.
I'm sure.
Well, stat.
All right,
Check out the
guys.
golf video as well. You know, that was a lot of fun. I whooped Reagan's ass, but yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Stay tuned. If you
I don't
guys like
wanna-
that,
I
we'll
don't
do it
wanna
again.
spoil
It was a
but
lot of
you did
fun.
not
So
whip that ass.
yeah, okay, Mr. 60. But all right, thanks for
58.
checking in, guys.
58.